Chapter 1044. Heaven Division. Everyone gathered. Jiang Ke and the others had been waiting for a while. However, Fong Ping was still looking at the map. It seemed like he hadn't confirmed his target yet. There were rumors about Fong Ping's disappearance in the outside world, but that was only the outside world. Jiang Ke and the others had seen Fong Ping the moment they arrived, so naturally, the rumors were false. They also thought that Fong Ping would not leave Earth. If the current Fong Ping left hastily, Earth would be in great danger. After waiting for a while, Jiang Ke couldn't help but ask, Minister Fong, you told us 10 days ago that you were going to open up the Outer Realm battlefield. Don't tell me you still haven't confirmed the target? Fong Ping was too unreliable. Fong Ping tilted his head and smiled. I'm sure, but I'm afraid there might be some trouble. Having said that, Fong Ping pointed at the map and laughed. 7 Southern Territory Magic City, 8 Southern Territory Donglin, 9 Southern Territory Nanjiang, 10 Southern Territory Beihu, 11 Southern Territory Tianan. Demonic City has been pacified, Tianan has been pacified, and a large number of experts from the outer regions of Nanjiang have died. If we take down the 2 catacombs in Donglin and Beihu, the 5 major territories in the Southern Territory will become one. Fong Ping's eyes lit up. He said quickly, that's why my targets are Donglin and Beihu. But I am a little hesitant now. Minister Fong, please speak clearly, Jiang Ye said with a frown. It shouldn't be a problem for us to take down 2 outer realms. I know. Fong Ping took a deep breath and said, Donglin of 8 Southern Territories is adjacent to Destiny Royal Court, while Beihu of 10 Southern Territories is adjacent to Sky Plant's Royal Court. I'm worried that once we attack these 2 great catacombs, the powerhouses of the 2 great royal courts will come to our aid. Everyone was speechless. Which catacombs was not adjacent to the Inner Territory Royal Court? Then you might as well not organize such a battle. Now he was hesitating. Fong Ping flicked his fingers lightly, smiling. I heard that there has been a lot of activity in the catacombs recently. I'm worried that something might go wrong. Fong Ping continued, this time I can't go. I have to keep watch on Earth. When that time comes, it will be very dangerous for all of you if you encounter the apex. Everyone, if I really choose these 2 catacombs, the apex of each of your clans still have to look after it. Otherwise, I'm afraid I won't be able to save you in time. No one was surprised that Fong Ping would not go. As for desperate adepts making a move, it wasn't as if the various clans didn't have desperate adepts. Jiang Yin smiled faintly and said, Minister Fong, cooperation is cooperation, but I'll say the ugly words first. If the 2 majestic courts really send impasse realm experts, even if we have impasse realm experts, it's more likely that our people will have to retreat. When that time comes, Minister Fong, don't blame us for deserting. We don't want what happened to Feng Ling to happen to us either. They were only cooperating, not selling their bodies. The phoenix spirit of the demon race was captured and imprisoned on the heavenly island. It was said that she was in a miserable state. Jiang Ke did not want Fong Ping to do the same thing to them later. If they could win the fight, they would fight. If they could kill, they would kill. If they couldn't, their own sex apex experts would step forward to negotiate peace, and both sides would retreat. At worst, they would just wrangle a little. This was the norm for the major powers. Fong Ping chuckled. Of course not. I won't watch everyone go to their deaths. Of course, you won't listen to me and die. Your mission is very simple. Kill the powerhouses in the catacombs. Our mission is also very simple. Advance the front line. Fong Ping looked at Li Daong and said, the military department's mission is to move the front line forward. Right now, most of our cities are beside the passageway. Once the cities are breached, the other party can enter the passageway quickly and attack Earth. And my goal is to push the front line forward at least 500 li. This way, even if the front line collapses, we still have time to react. Fong Ping looked at everyone. Everyone's goals are not conflicting. You guys kill the high ranks. You don't have to worry about the rest. We're responsible for cleaning the battlefield and pushing the front line forward. Of course, there will also be high ranks who will act with you. Also, don't worry about being killed. If our people and your people kill the catacombs powerhouses together, both sides will count 1 head. Fong Ping chuckled. This way, we can avoid disputes because of snatching heads. Of course, I might have to spend an extra portion of imperishable substance. But this is not a problem. I still hope that everyone can work together to kill the enemy and not be on guard against each other and have conflicts. Jiang Kuei did not say anything. Ling Xiao giggled. In that case, if your people kill the other party's powerhouses and we go to finish them off, it counts as a head too? Yes. Fong Ping was very generous. He laughed. Of course it counts. If you have the ability, you can convince the human powerhouses to finish you off, or you can just cooperate with each other and kill one as two. That's not considered cheating. This price Fong Ping, will bear. Minister Fong is very generous. Su Bing and the others praised. It was generous enough. In that case, they could totally cooperate with the humans. No matter which side killed someone, they could use one as two. Xuanda Grotto Heaven Xian Hua thought for a while. In that case, there are two goals this time? Beihu and Donglin? That's right, Xian Hua said again. But between Nanjiang and Beihu, there's still the Void Mausoleum Grotto Heaven. If you want to unite the 5 territories, I'm afraid it's not going to be easy. Between the 5 territories, there were 2 bounded territories. However, Purple Cap Mountain was destroyed, and Gong Yuzi had entered the Heavenly Cemetery. Now, only the Void Mausoleum Grotto Heaven was an obstacle. Fong Ping said lightly, "There's no hurry. The Void Mausoleum Grotto Heaven doesn't dare to come out now. When there's time later, I'll go talk to them and open a path between the bounded territories. This way, the 5 territories can be connected." The corner of Xian Hua's mouth twitched. That was easy to say. Open a path? Was this not splitting the other party's Grotto Heaven into 2? It would be strange if the other party agreed. Fong Ping did not say anything. Very quickly, he said seriously, "Commander Li Daong, you and the people from Wangwu Mountain, Weiyu Mountain, and Xuanda Grotto Heaven will go to the Donglin Catacombs together. You will lead the military department powerhouses and the 4 houses of guardians to join the battle. In addition, the powerhouses from the 6 Holy Lands, Star City, and Pantheon will also go to the Donglin Catacombs. Minister Wu Quishan, you will lead the powerhouses from the Department of Education, as well as the martial artists from the other 4 Holy Lands and countries. Cooperate with the 6 Grandmasters and the overseas Immortal Island powerhouses to go to the Beihu Catacombs. The mission this time is very simple. Just like what I said, clean up their powerhouses, push forward the battlefront, and unite the 5 territories." Fong Ping looked at the martial artists from the various Holy Lands and said with a smile, "Settle some of the chaos in Sino Nation first. Only then can I extricate myself. Otherwise, I can't extricate myself now, and it'll be difficult for me to support the countries. So, everyone, don't blame me for prioritizing Sino Nation first." As soon as he said that, from the Pantheon side, Fong Ping's old acquaintance, Ross, said, "Since Sino Nation has the upper hand in the Southern Territory, it's inevitable that they will expand their advantage. We've already considered this before we came. Minister Fong, you don't have to worry that we'll be dissatisfied." "That's good. Thank you, everyone, for your understanding." Fong Ping gave them a fist salute and said with a smile, "Then it's better to do it sooner rather than later. Everyone, the situation on Earth is complicated now. There are too many people and too many mouths. Just go directly. I'll keep an eye on all sides to prevent the news from spreading to the catacombs too quickly." Ling Xiao glanced at him, thought for a while, and said, "If you're not going, are the others from the Heaven Division not going too?" Fong Ping smiled and said, "Everyone has a mission. The Heaven Division is in charge of guarding Magic City and keeping an eye on the safety of the ground. They'll be ready to assist the other catacombs at any time. Right now, the evil sects haven't been completely wiped out yet. They have to prevent any accidents from happening." At this time, Boundless Force's Bullface struggled and said, "Lord King, if that's the case, Old Bull has to go to the Beihu Catacombs?" Yes. Boundless Force was very depressed. The others did not understand, but he knew it. Old Bull was going to Beihu not to kill people, but to keep an eye on the Void Mausoleum Grotto Heaven's movements. Who knew? He might even have to fight with the Void Mausoleum Grotto Heaven's Paragon, Wu Quishan. Wu Quishan's mission was not to advance the front line, but to bring people to assist him. Boundless Force felt helpless. It was very dangerous, okay? Compared to the Paragon, that cat and Fong Ping were even more dangerous. Sighing in his heart, Boundless Force still said, "All right then, Lord King. After this, Old Bull will return to Water Force Island. The crisis over there has not been resolved yet." Fong Ping smiled and said, "That's what I should do. After conquering these two outer regions, Sino Nation's troubles will be much smaller. I'll also contact Commander Li Jun to return. When the time comes, Commander Li or I can take action and help you solve the crisis." "Thank you, Lord King." Fong Ping waved his hand, looking indifferent. "Everyone, let's get moving. Brother Jiang, Ling Xiao, all of you, please try your best to avoid getting involved in the middle and low-rank battlefields. Move the front line as far as possible. Our people will advance from the rear." The few of them had no objections. Their goal was to kill those powerhouses. As for the battle between the weak, they had no intention of doing so. Very soon, Li Daong led the military department powerhouses, including the powerhouses from Polaris City, and hurried toward Donglin. They left using the flight step. On the ground, hundreds of military vehicles that were ready to go also started moving quickly. These people did not need to go too quickly. After Li Daong and the rest went in and lured the high-ranked away, it was time for them to enter. When they arrived and reorganized, the time was just right. After Li Daong left, Wu Quishan did not delay either. Beihu was still quite far from Magic City. He quickly made arrangements to lead the army and powerhouses to Beihu. At this time, Zhong Qinghuan, who was not assigned a mission, frowned slightly and asked, "Minister Fong, what about our missions?" Wu Quishan led the education department powerhouses to Beihu, while Li Daong led the military department powerhouses to Donglin. The four houses of guardians had missions. Tian said that they had to watch over Earth. "What about the Department of Investigation?" Fong Ping glanced at her and smiled. "Your mission? Your mission is naturally to be responsible for the safety of the ground. You and the Department of Investigation cooperate with Beigong Yin, Tian Mu, and the rest, and prepare for assistance. The catacombs are not dead people. War may break out in other areas. The evil sects may intervene too. With Minister Fong watching over the ground, would they dare to come and make troubles?" Zhong Qinghuan felt that it was somewhat unnecessary. This would restrict their combat strength too much. Among the four departments, two were watching over Sino Nation. It would be better to liberate their combat strength and let the Heavenly Department or the Department of Investigation join the battle. This way, with the help of those forces, they might be able to pacify the two territories very quickly. Fong Ping heard her and smiled. "After all, there are 107 outland passageways. I have to patrol the world to prevent some passageways from being breached by the catacombs powerhouses. How can I keep watching over Sino Nation?" Zhong Qinghuan thought about it and agreed. If a battle broke out in other catacombs, the probability of losing the other party was very high. If Fong Ping was here, at least he could let people evacuate. If he was on Earth, the catacombs powerhouses would probably not dare to attack easily. Seeing that she had no objections, Fong Ping waved his hand and said, "Minister Zhong, go carry out your mission. Be careful. Although I'm on Earth, I still have to be careful." "Yes." Zhong Qinghuan said no more and quickly left with her people. As soon as she left, Old Man Li telepathically said, "Fong Ping, if you leave and the catacombs really breached Earth, what should we do?" With Fong Ping around, it could still be pacified. If he was not around, once it was breached, there would be big trouble. Now even Old Man Li felt that Fong Ping's pressure was somewhat beyond imagination. He had to guard against a lot of unforeseen events alone. Compared to Old Zhang and the rest, Old Zhang and the rest at least had many peerless powerhouses to assist them back then. Under normal circumstances, the 6 sacred lands would have one peerless powerhouse guarding over the ground, each managing a portion. But now, Fong Ping had mobilized the powerhouses of the 6 sacred lands. If the passageways were breached and caused casualties, Fong Ping's prestige would plummet. The current him could mobilize the 6 sacred lands. If something happened, the 6 sacred lands and the countries might not listen to any of Fong Ping's orders anymore. Fong Ping did not say much. He telepathically said, "Bring Tai Tu, Old Yao, Old Wang, and a few others to Hutong Mountain. Keep a low profile and pretend to be patrolling the catacombs." Although Old Man Li wanted to say a few more words, after hearing Fong Ping's words, he could only shut up. He gave Li Hansong and the rest a look and said, "Let's go. We'll patrol the catacombs everywhere to prevent chaos." Li Hansong and the rest quickly followed. Very soon, in the Heavenly Department's concourse, only Fong Ping and a few staff members were left. At the same time, 107 images lit up on the concourse's screen. These were surveillance images of the passageways in Foreign Territory 107. On every screen, there were people. When they saw Fong Ping's figure, whether it was the Sino people or people from other countries, they were all full of confidence and greeted loudly. Fong Ping was overseeing Earth. If there were any movements in Foreign Territory 107, he would receive the news immediately and rush over in time. Modern technology was somewhat useful at this moment. At least Fong Ping did not have to look at foreign territories one by one and ask them one by one. If there were any abnormalities, he would be able to detect it immediately. Fong Ping did not say anything. He nodded slightly and stood in the concourse. After a while, he said, "If there are any abnormalities in any place, report immediately. Today, I will be waiting here all the way, supporting all parties at any time. If you encounter an attack from the catacombs, retreat quickly if you are no match for them. I'd like to see if there are any catacombs martial artists who dare to kill their way out of the passageway." These words were said in a powerful and resonant voice. On the screen, the martial artists from various countries were extremely excited. With Fong Ping around, even if they were separated by a screen, everyone felt much more at ease. Nowadays, many of the paragons from various worlds had left. There were not many left. Fong Ping still had the battle record of killing a paragon rank 5. In addition, the Netherworld King was also in the dark. They did not think that anyone would dare to kill their way out at this time. At most, they would just give up on the passageway. Sooner or later, they would still be able to kill their way back. Looking at everyone's confident faces on the screen, Fong Ping smiled, but his eyes revealed a hint of helplessness. He could not split himself. There were many things that he could not do. At this moment, he had no choice but to maintain his presence in front of everyone to give them confidence. Otherwise, if he really disappeared, he might cause a huge impact. Although that was what he said, Fong Ping was already prepared to leave. At this moment, Fong Ping quickly transmitted his voice to the outside. "Big Cat, I'll leave a clone here, but the clone can't last for too long. Moreover, the clone I'll leave behind is an imperishable substance clone without any intelligence. If there are any abnormal situations, immediately use my name, disguise yourself as my voice, and give me a reply. As for you, you have to inform me of the changes on Earth and time. I'll rush back as soon as possible." Fong Ping transmitted his voice to Big Cat. This was also his only way at the moment. He had to go to the catacombs. If he kept guarding Earth, then he could not do many things. Moreover, if he did not leave Earth, he could only be trampled on. He could not break the current stalemate. As for continuing to waiting for himself to become stronger, Fong Ping was still worried about an important problem. Li Jun, his lies might be exposed. It had been almost a month since he left the catacombs. Li Jun had not shown up for a long time. This was not in line with Li Jun's character. Even if Li Jun's injuries were not light, a month was more or less enough. Last time, Big Cat said that he discovered an Emperor-level powerhouse who was suspected to be from an evil sect. The other party was probably only worried about Li Jun now. If Li Jun did not show up, the other party might see through him. Actually, someone is already testing me. Fong Ping pondered in his heart. Yes, it was Ji Yao. Perhaps it was not Ji Yao's subjective thoughts, but this woman, Ji Yao, was reckless. Li Jun did not show up even when Universe Bao and the others were threatening Earth. What did that mean? If Li Jun was not outside the heavenly cemetery, or if his injuries were so serious that he could not recover for a month, then it would cause a series of chain reactions. Therefore, I have to mess up the situation, Fong Ping thought to himself. In his mind, Big Cat's voice rang. Liar, are you going to lie again? Fong Ping started to lie again. By making a fake avatar here, everyone in the 107 outer domains would know that he was here. As for Fong Ping, who came to verify whether it was the real one, they probably did not expect Fong Ping to dare to leave at this time. If Fong Ping's whereabouts were really exposed and he was in the catacombs, then something big would probably happen in the catacombs. Those powerhouses would not have the energy to care about the humans. This is not a lie. This is saving people. Big Cat, you don't understand. This is called the empty city stratagem. You don't have to do anything. Just help me maintain the existence of the avatar. At the crucial moment, pretend to be me, and talk will do. Pretend to be you, and talk. Big Cat struggled for a moment. It's very tiring. How long do you need to walk? Very soon, Fong Ping calculated. At most a day. If I'm fast, maybe I'll be back in 10 hours. All right. Big Cat agreed, feeling a little wronged. It was time to work again. Fong Ping comforted it, feeling helpless. There was no other way. At this moment, he could only let Big Cat keep an eye on him. Unbeknownst to the few staff members, Fong Ping's mentality fluctuated. The next moment, Fong Ping acted as if there was no one else around. He left the avatar on the spot, like a real person standing there with his eyes closed. As for Fong Ping himself, he quickly disappeared from the Sky Division. Not long after he disappeared in the concourse, Fong Ping's avatar suddenly opened its eyes and said in a calm voice that the headquarters remembered something. Big Cat, the human hero, likes to eat all kinds of cat food. Previously, only Sino Nation has been supplying it. Now that everyone is here from various countries on Earth, go buy some cat food and snacks of different flavors and have someone send them to Magic City. Hurry, the faster the better. In the concourse, the few Sky Division staff members, including the 107 martial artists on the screen, were all stunned. At a time like this, he wants us to buy cat food and snacks? Minister Fong always did whatever he wanted. Minister Fong, Fong Ping said seriously, this is a big deal. The headquarters needs it. Big Cat is very important. The survival of mankind is related to it. We must satisfy its needs. Everyone was speechless. Didn't Big Cat go to the Sky Cemetery now? Was there a need to be so anxious? Still, this was not a big deal. Everyone said, Minister Fong will arrange for it to be sent to Magic City by air immediately. More. Fong Ping said seriously again, more. 10,000 tons is not too little. Go and prepare it as soon as possible. Remember, I want all kinds of flavors, all kinds of specialties, all kinds of delicious food. Fong Ping made a lot of requests. Everyone did not know whether to laugh or cry, but they did not refute. Whatever you say. It was just snacks. It was not a big deal for Fong Ping, a person who stood at the peak of the human world, to want it. At this moment, Fong Ping was also satisfied. The liar had left. He was the one who wanted him to disguise himself and talk to him. I've strictly followed the liar's instructions. As for the cat food, that was what the liar owed me. Collecting some interest now is not a big deal. After swindling the cat food, Big Cat was still sunbathing on the rooftop of the building outside. He thought for a while. What else did he need? This was a rare opportunity. If he asked for more this time, he could save it for many years. Therefore, the next scene made everyone not know whether to laugh or cry. But they also felt relieved. Minister Fong was not in a hurry at all. He was not worried at all. He even had the time to do these things. From the looks of it, there was no need to worry too much. For this cat, Brother Cat from the headquarters, specially makes some big blankets. The kind that is very, very big. I want it soft and thick. I want 100 beds. Send them over quickly. Also, I want all kinds of drinks too. If it's wine, give me some too. Right, I want all kinds of dried fish too. It's best if there's live fish. Fresh ones are even better. In the hall, Fong Ping's avatar was almost drooling. This scene made everyone speechless. Did he want to eat it? Or did Big Cat want to eat it? The cat was not on Earth. Could it be that Minister Fong wanted to eat it himself? They had never heard that Minister Fong had this hobby. The hobbies of powerhouses were really hard to understand. The martial artists from various countries lamented in their hearts, but they did not stop and quickly made arrangements. These things did not need them to show up. A phone call could be done quickly. It was just some mundane things. If it was cultivation resources, everyone would be troubled. However, some food, drinks, clothes, and other things were really not a problem. In the distance, Big Cat was happy like crazy. The fat on his fat face was trembling. How awesome! Whatever he wanted, he had it. Before this, he was still struggling for such a long time. He did not want to fall asleep while watching, but now, he did not feel sleepy at all. Big Cat decided that this time, he would get his hands on the next 10,000 years' worth of supplies. 10 hours. 10 hours might not be enough. The swindler had better come back later. 24 hours was more or less the same. Don't come back so early, or else I won't be able to gather the 10,000 years' worth of supplies. The cat was delighted. Soon it began to talk about food, drinks, toys, and so on. Later, when Big Cat talked about nuclear bombs, the martial artist's faces changed. What did he want that for? Seeing this, Big Cat quickly changed his words. Didn't he want to keep some good stuff? During the Three Realms era, divine weapons were very powerful. He had kept a lot of them. Now he heard that the human world's nuclear bombs were also very powerful. Maybe 10,000 years later, he could take them out and use them as divine weapons. Big Cat did not think of this in the past, so he did not have any inventory. Otherwise, it would be good to keep more fruits and vegetables. They were all treasures now. Big Cat was very patient and kept on talking. It was also rare for the others to interact with Fong Ping. Whatever Fong Ping said, they just listened. Unfortunately, Minister Fong did not talk about martial arts, which made everyone feel a little regretful. Chapter 1045, South Capital Catacombs. What Fong Ping did not know was that the cat was pretending to be him to cheat food and drink. It was a classic case of having the right to not let it expire. This was Fong Ping's first visit to the catacombs in South Capital. This time, Fong Ping did not pretend to be a weak martial artist. Right now, Fong Ping was impersonating the rank 7 CLA, an inspector from the Heavenly Division, inside the catacombs in South Capital, Jingnan City. The rank 9 powerhouse guarding the catacombs in South Capital was a rank 9 that Fong Ping was relatively unfamiliar with. His surname was Sunday. On the city wall, Fong Ping and Grandmaster Sun Xiang gazed into the distance. Sun Xiang sighed. Patrolman Xie. Old Chun went in after breaking through to rank 9. There hasn't been much activity these few days. I've tried to persuade Old Chun, but there are some things that can't be resolved just by persuasion. Old Chun said that there were still a lot of rank 9s in Sino Nation. With me holding the fort here, he would be at ease. If he's lucky, he might be able to advance further. There's no way to persuade him otherwise. Fong Ping said in a low voice, entering the catacombs rashly, and he's still a rank 9. Forget it. Vice-Chancellor Chen isn't stationed in the military department, so there's no need to be too harsh. However, if anything happens, it'll be a huge loss to Sino Nation. The rank 9 in charge could not easily leave the passageway they were guarding. Even if they were to leave, they would have to report it and wait for someone to take their place. Chen Yaoting was not an overseeing expert. Unless there was an order from his superiors, it was not a big deal for him to enter. Fong Ping used the excuse of investigating Chen Yaoting during his patrol this time. A rank 9 who had gone into the catacombs for a few days and had not returned was still highly regarded. Chen Yaoting was still a newly ascended rank 9. Now that he had not returned for a few days, it was not too surprising that CLA came to investigate the situation. Fong Ping paused, then continued. I heard that Vice-Chancellor Chen went to the catacombs this time to look for Junior Sister Chen. Old Sun, has there been any news from Junior Sister Chen recently? Sun Xiang sighed no. At the end of February, that brat Yinshi entered the catacombs. At the time, I was stationed here to oversee the catacombs. That girl has just advanced to rank 7. I told her to just train in the periphery for a while. At that time, Old Chen and Minister Fong went to the king's battleground. I was concerned about the situation there, so I didn't pay much attention to this side. Sun Xiang continued. In the end, when the matter at the king's battlefield was over, that girl disappeared without a trace. Before that, I even sensed her aura. You sensed it before? Fong Ping furrowed his brows slightly. If that's the case, she was within a 100-li radius earlier. Sun Xiang was a rank 9 martial artist. If a powerhouse completely concealed his aura, it would be difficult for him to sense someone stronger than him, unless he was very close. If they were weaker than him, he would still be able to detect them within a few dozen li. If the other party's aura was completely exposed, Sun Xiang could more or less capture some of the rank 7 Qinyinqi's aura fluctuations within a 100-mile radius. Yes, I sensed it just before the war broke out. That girl didn't go too deep. She knew the danger too. She mainly challenged some rank 7 martial artists. I saw that she went to those small towns, so I didn't bother too much. In the outer region, other than those royal cities, there were also some small cities built by rank 7 powerhouses. Chen Yunxi did not venture deep into the city, nor did she have the guts to challenge the Lord of Royal City. She had gone to a small city to fight with the city lord. Even if the city lord of Monarch City rushed over, she still had a chance to escape. Moreover, when the weather changed, those rank 8 and 9 powerhouses did not have the heart to leave the royal city. At that time, Sun Xiang sensed the fluctuations of the battle. Rank 7 powerhouses fought. Chen Yunxi was an MCMDU powerhouse, and she did not lack divine weapons. The other party's ability was not considered strong among the rank 7 powerhouses, so Sun Xiang was not too worried. In the end, the impact of the weather changed was too great. He did not sense it for a period of time, so he did not think too much about it. After the weather change ended, he lost his senses. At first, he thought that the weather changed was too great, so Chen Yunxi left there and did not continue to fight. However, there was no trace of Chen Yunxi for more than 20 days. He also knew that something must have gone wrong. If not, Chen Yaoding would not have entered the catacombs to look for her as soon as he broke through. The city where Junior Sister Chen fought before, it was destroyed. Sun Xiang said in a low voice. I went to investigate after that. The city was destroyed. However, the catacombs is very chaotic now. I only went to investigate after 5 days. I don't know who destroyed it or how. How did the catacombs react? Sun Xiang shook his head and said, there wasn't much of a reaction. Minister Zhang and the rest disappeared together with those true kings. The catacombs are also in chaos internally. Some powerhouses from other territories want to go to the inner territory. There are also some who want to conquer other royal cities. Wars will also break out. These few days, even the royal cities are at war. Destroying a small affiliated city did not cause too much of a stir. Fong Ping thought for a moment, nodded and said, I understand. However, I have to go and see the situation. Is Junior Sister Chen the president of MCMU's Martial Arts Society or a member of the Heaven Division? I have to investigate. Sun Xiang was a little worried. I can't leave this place. I have to keep watch in South Capital City. Patrolman Xie. Although you have reached rank 7, the situation in the catacombs is indeed very chaotic now. If you encounter trouble here, Sino Nation is opening up battlefields in other catacombs now. I'm afraid it will be very troublesome. It's okay. Fong Ping smiled and said, I'll go and take a look. I won't go too deep. Old son, you can keep watch here. Oh, right. Is there any movement from the Luofu Mountain in the eastern boundary zone? Not really. We are thousands of miles away from the boundary zone. It's hard for us to know what happened there. Understood? Having said that, Fong Ping leaped down from the city. Sun Xiang wanted to say something, but hesitated. In the end, he sighed and said nothing. He felt that the rank 7 CLA was too risky. It was not suitable for him to go deep alone. Although there was no big war breaking out in South Capital City's catacombs, there was no movement from Chen Yunxi and Chen Yaoding until now. Obviously, it was a little chaotic in the dark. CLA was MCMDU's genius and also a member of the Heaven Division. If he went missing here, South Capital City would be in serious trouble. Fong Ping did not care much about these. After leaving South Capital City, Fong Ping hurried toward the city where Chen Yunxi went missing. After a while, Fong Ping arrived. What was originally a small city was now completely deserted. Recently, the catacombs was a little chaotic. The palace's control over the outer boundary of the catacombs had declined. Some people wanted to kill their way back into the inner boundary. Some wanted to unify the outer boundary. Now, there was also a fight in the catacombs. The destruction of a small city under the watch of a rank 7 powerhouse was not considered a big deal. Here, there were still some bloodstains and corpses left behind. In the city, there were still some demons. These demons were devouring those corpses. Sensing Fong Ping's rank 7 aura, these middle and low-ranked monsters fled quickly, not daring to stay. Fong Ping did not care about them. He landed on top of the city wall and sensed carefully. After a while, Fong Ping frowned. They were all dead. Almost all the powerhouses in the city were dead. Someone came to this small city later, probably to clean up the battlefield and collect some useful resources. Both humans and the catacombs might have people coming here. Fong Ping sensed that the small mineral vein underground had traces of being excavated. Everyone in the city died at the same time. A powerhouse's mentality outburst killed them. Although the small city is not big, to kill everyone in the city, they must at least have the ability of a rank 9. A rank 9 outburst could kill middle and low-ranked, but high-ranked ones could not be killed by pressure. Unless the absolute suppression was almost the same. Fong Ping searched around again and did not find any high-ranked powerhouses' corpses. He did not know if they were devoured by monsters or picked up by people later. The city lord of this place should have been killed. Otherwise, the other party would not have no news at all when the city was destroyed. Fong Ping searched again. Soon, he leaped into the air and landed on a nearby city wall. The city wall was a little broken. Fong Ping took a look and saw the sword marks on it. Stream swordsmanship. This was by Ruashi's self-created combat technique. It was a middle-ranked combat technique, not too powerful. However, Chunyinshi liked this set of combat techniques and felt that it suited her very well. She started learning under by Ruashi and became Lu Fengru's student halfway through. However, after Bai Ruashi returned, although no one said anything, Chunyinshi was considered to be under Bai Ruashi's tutelage. Bai Ruashi's stream swordsmanship was also taught to her. Chunyinshi had learned it quite well. There was indeed a battle here. The stream swordsmanship left marks on the city wall. This means that the city lord who fought with her here has average ability. Otherwise, the stream swordsmanship would not have been defeated and the city wall damaged. This kind of ability would not be able to do anything to Chunyinshi. Chunyinshi had a lot of treasures on her. She had fought a lot in the past few years. After entering rank 7, without the ability of upper stage or peak rank 7, it would not be easy to defeat her. Is it the catacombs powerhouses who attacked? Or is it the bounded domain? Fong Ping looked far to the east, frowning. He could not delay too much. He had to return to Earth as soon as possible. His goal this time was Mount Luofu. Forget it. If I interrogate the nearby royal city powerhouses now, no matter how secretive it is, it will be easily discovered. I'll destroy Mount Luofu. If I can't find them, it won't be too late to come back. At the thought of this, Fong Ping hurried toward the eastern bounded domain. At this moment, Fong Ping restrained his aura, shattered the space, and left without attracting anyone's attention. At the same time, 8 southern regions and 10 southern regions soon broke out into a great war. Jiang Ke and the others' goal was very simple. They came to kill people in exchange for imperishable substances. Once they entered the catacombs, they quickly rushed to the nearest royal city. With so many powerhouses entering the territory, the catacombs powerhouses quickly sensed it. The royal city's city lord, who was the nearest, quickly led the high-ranked powerhouses under his command and fled, without the slightest intention of staying. Not all of them fled. The powerhouses of Donglin Catacombs and Beihu Catacombs quickly gathered and began to rush in the direction of Mount Royal Sea. Recently, the catacombs' few royal courts had also issued orders. Once they encountered danger, they were to abandon the city and flee to Mount Royal Sea. In the direction of Mount Royal Sea, there were now messengers from the various royal courts. Very soon, they would ask for help from the royal courts to reinforce them. Beihu Catacombs. In the direction of Mount Royal Sea. In the Beihu Catacombs today, Mount Royal Sea was no longer guarded by human powerhouses. In reality, The humans guarding had long since evacuated Mount Royal Sea. The paragons had all left. Staying here alone was courting death. Previously, it was to inform the paragons and act as messengers. Now it was no longer necessary. At this moment, outside Mount Royal Sea, an incomparably tall platform appeared out of thin air. Universe Bao brought dozens of rank 9 powerhouses and stepped into the air. Among the crowd, Ji Yao was protected by a few powerhouses. She also stepped into the air with a cold expression. When they were on the high platform, Universe Bao laughed. "Your Highness, don't worry. With me here, Your Highness will not be in danger." Ji Yao came here because he was half coerced. He was worried that if he left the imperial city, Ji Yao would play tricks. He was also worried that Ji Yao would secretly harm him. That was why he brought Ji Yao along. After saying that, Universe Bao laughed. Previously, there was news that the Land of Rebirth wants to open a new battlefield in the Outer Territory. Recently, the army has been gathering. I have also understood Fong Ping. With his personality, uniting the 5 southern territories might be what he wants to do. As expected, Fong Ping is still eager for grandiose achievements. In the end, he chose 8 southern territories and 10 southern territories. Although Fong Ping did not leak the news, Universe Bao still guessed it. Right now, Universe Bao was also triumphant. He looked like he had the pearl of wisdom in his hands. Fong Ping was only SOSO. Uniting the 5 southern territories? It was a good idea, but how could it be that simple? There were not only outer territories in Divine Land. As Universe Bao spoke, he continued, "Your Highness, you asked me to coerce the Land of Rebirth. In my opinion, as long as we repel their attack this time, or even cause them some damage, the Land of Rebirth will feel the royal court's determination. They will certainly not dare to continue fighting us to the death. When that time comes, the plan to coerce them to retreat will be a success. In this way, Your Highness' test can be considered completed." Having said that, he smiled and said, "I have completed the first 2 stages very smoothly. Your Highness, if I succeed this time," Ji Yao said coldly, "I will keep my word. When that time comes, you will be the Deputy Temple Master of Destiny Hall." "Thank you very much, Your Highness." Universe Bao cupped his hands, not overly courteous. The high platform was not built to pretend, but because they could not go up to the peak of Mount Royal Sea. Ordinary rank 9s would be sliced into pieces instantly if they went up. The reason why they built such a high platform was so that they could better observe the situation inside. Across the dozens of miles wide Grand Canyon, Universe Bao saw the powerhouses that were fleeing for their lives. He frowned slightly and said, "These foreign martial artists are cowardly and cowardly. The 10 southern regions have many divine generals, more than 20 of them, 50 to 60 venerables, and over 100 commanders. They don't even have the slightest desire to fight. These people want to return to the restricted area to seize power? Wishful thinking. On the Earth side, their forces were divided into 2, and they had to guard the other passageways. There were not many powerhouses. On the other side, there were more than 30 rank 9s. Now, however, the catacombs were fleeing madly, which made Universe Bao slightly dissatisfied. Soon, however, Universe Bao frowned, somewhat understanding why these people did not dare to fight. Wu Quishan, Su Yunfei, Luo Yu, Yu Wuhua, Li Wuqi, Universe Bao frowned. So these people had come. They were all top-notch rank 9 powerhouses. It was normal that the outer territory did not dare to resist. However, he was not afraid of anything. Right now, there were many powerhouses around him. That's good too. This time, we've hurt them. I'm afraid they won't dare to come to God Land to cause trouble again." As he said that, Universe Bao looked at Ji Yao, smiling. "Your Highness, let the neighboring territories, the powerhouses from the cities that belong to the palace, attack the Land of Rebirth. Create pressure on them. Also restrain Fong Ping to prevent him from entering God Land. He would not act rashly unless the other territories attacked. Even if they did not attack the Land of Rebirth, based on the Land of Rebirth situation, Fong Ping would still have to guard it. If he did not guard it, what if it was breached? Of course, the catacombs did not want to breach it now, even if they had the ability to do so. The internal strife had not been quelled yet. It was not worth it to suddenly start a full-scale war with the land of rebirth. Ji Yao frowned. Seeing that, Universe Bao said mildly, "Your Highness, if I can't restrain Fong Ping, then I'm afraid it'll be difficult for me to complete Your Highness' test. I'm only a god general after all, not a true king." Universe Bao said again, "If I fail the test, then it's not my fault." In short, if he did not restrain Fong Ping, he would not attack. If he did not attack, then so be it, but that would be Ji Yao's fault, not his. If that was the case, then he would be taking over the heavenly mandate army openly. Ji Yao snorted coldly, feeling a little helpless. Since Universe Bao had brought her along, she had no choice but to come. Now, Ji Yao was a little worried. If Fong Ping really came for him, would he kill him along the way? Besides, Universe Bao was smarter than she thought. Fong Ping might not dare to venture deep into Godland at this time. Also, whether Phoenix Sparrow had spread the news, she was not sure. Rumor had it that Phoenix Sparrow was killed by the longevity sword. Ji Yao felt uneasy. At this moment, she had no choice but to speak. She shouted, "Pass down the order. The 3 southern regions, 6 southern regions, 12 southern regions, all forces of the royal court, attack the land of rebirth." As soon as she finished speaking, a huge seal appeared and covered the void. Soon, a powerhouse 100 miles away shouted loudly and began to pass down the order. The catacombs was too big. Non-true king powerhouses could not transmit their voice far. However, the catacombs were not unprepared. Right now, at the Mount Royal Sea defense line, a large number of powerhouses were deployed as messengers. One by one, the order could be passed down quickly. "Your Highness is wise." Universe Bao laughed. This was good. This way, the pressure on him would be greatly reduced. He only needed to face those rank 9 invaders. It was a pity that the mysterious powerhouse suddenly disappeared. According to his subordinates, he had urgent matters to attend to and left first. Otherwise, Universe Bao might not be afraid of Fong Ping. Just as Universe Bao was thinking about this, above his head, in the void, true Lord Earth Wisdom was hiding in the void rift, observing the situation in the North Lake catacombs. "Not here, not a single one." Earth Wisdom frowned slightly. She came to the Outland this time because she knew that humans would open up a battlefield in the Outland. She thought that she might meet Wang Jinyang and the rest. But now, not a single one was here. Those people actually did not enter the land. Are they still in the land of rebirth? Or are they in 8 southern territories? Since North Lake was gone, what about Donglin? Earth Wisdom fell into deep thought. Maybe they were over there. She took a look inside again. Her mentality was strong, and the range of her senses was even further. She had already recognized one person. Wu Quishan. This was Fong Ping's teacher. According to some of the previous plans, they should capture or kill him. However, Earth Wisdom was worried that it would attract Fong Ping's attention. If that happened, it would be difficult to lure Wang Jinyang and the rest into the land. Go to 8 southern territories and take a look. If it doesn't work, I'll add fuel to the fire and let these guys from the fake dynasty win. The pressure is too much. Are Wang Jinyang and the rest still not showing up? And that guy Ground Oddity, where did he go? Earth Wisdom frowned slightly. Ground Oddity went to deal with Ji Hong and King Pingshan, but King Pingshan simply sealed up the royal territory and refused to come out. At this time, it would be troublesome if the other party ran away. Since King Pingshan did not move, then there was no need to care about him for the time being. Ground Oddity dealt with Ji Hong. Could it be that he was entangled? I'll go to 8 southern territories and take a look first. Thinking of this, Earth Wisdom's figure flashed away without causing any commotion. The people below did not know that a powerhouse had just left above their heads. Minister Fong, chaos has broken out in Dongwu catacombs. A powerhouse is approaching Dongwu City. At this moment, Heaven Division, while no one noticed anything unusual, a cat sat on a huge sofa. It was soft and comfortable, and while eating, it said vaguely, "Did they start fighting?" They haven't started fighting yet. In everyone's eyes, the person sitting on the sofa was Fong Ping. They did not notice that Fong Ping's avatar was being used as a cushion by the cat. The cat did not care. Its mentality was strong. These people were not as strong as it was. It could simply guide them, and they could not see the real situation. While eating, the cat said, "If they haven't started fighting, then don't worry about it." "All right, sending me some more food. I'm hungry." The dried fish just now was not bad. "I've never eaten it before." "You there, go get some more." At the side, a few logistics personnel of Heaven Division looked helpless. What was wrong with the minister today? Although Fong Ping had his flaws, he was not a glutton. The key point was eating, but eating dried fish. Sigh. There was nothing they could say. "Minister, chaos has broken out in the West Sea catacombs. A powerhouse has summoned an army and is threatening West Sea City." "They haven't started fighting?" "Not yet," the cat said indifferently. "Then why should we care? If we can win, then fight. If we can't, then retreat. They won't dare to attack. The headquarters is here." The cat patted its round belly, not worried at all. "Fight, fight, fight. It would be fine as long as it ate happily. When it was done eating, it was done fighting. If it really could not win, then it would just call the swindlers back. It would not fight." When everyone heard his tone, they did not know whether to be happy or helpless. Was this not important? Why did it feel like Minister Fong did not care at all? Could it be that he had a card up his sleeve? Soon, someone laughed and said, "Minister Fong is farsighted. He should have a way to deal with it." The cat listened for a while, blinked its big eyes, and said happily, "Of course. Actually, you guys don't have to worry." The headquarters used to learn a lot of skills from the cat. They even wrote an IOU for 1 million tons of cat food to the cat. They used so much cat food in exchange for a few very powerful skills. One of them is very powerful, the heaven and earth locking invincible defense barrier. When this brother cat from the headquarters comes out, I will definitely return the cat food to him. Everyone, remember to remind me when the time comes. Tell the others, don't be afraid. If you can't win, just run back. I can use the heaven and earth locking invincible defense barrier to lock the passageway for a day. They can't come in. The cat felt that after eating so much and taking so much, it was fine to do some work. Was it not just a mentality blockade? At most, it would make a trip to lock it. Its mentality was so strong. How could those martial artists below the pinnacle fight their way in? It was just a small matter. It said it confidently. The others looked at it strangely. What heaven and earth locking invincible defense barrier? They knew that Fong Ping liked to name things randomly. In the past, he named his combat technique 10,000 Teachers Fong Ping Technique. They did not expect that he still had this hobby now. The key point was, Minister Fong was a little strange today. Owed the cat 1 million tons of cat food? What was he trying to say by saying this to them? Was he asking them to give up the cat food? Was Minister Fong stingy to this extent? Everyone was exhausted. It was so difficult to communicate with Minister Fong. Often, the donkey's lips did not match the horse's mouth. After 2 or 3 sentences, Fong Ping started eating again. Eat if you want, but don't always eat those snacks and dried fish. I wonder if it was the cat or you who ate them. The cat did not care about them. They could talk after eating and drinking. When the scammer came back, he would say that he had contributed greatly and used the heaven and earth locking invincible defense barrier on him. The scammer would be embarrassed to scold me, right? Also, now that everyone knew about the 1 million tons of cat food, was the scammer going to renege on the debt? When the time came, he would show up and ask for the debt directly. Everyone would know that he owed him cat food. The more the cat thought about it, the more pleased it was. Maybe he could write a contract now? Or let them start a global conference, no, a global live broadcast? The cat leaned on the sofa, wagging its tail. Should he do this? If he did, the scammer would suffer. The cat laughed so hard that its tongue was sticking out. If the whole world knew that the scammer owed a lot of cat food, that would be interesting. No, the scammer will definitely be angry. If he's angry, what if he doesn't pay up? How about I pretend to be at a disadvantage and go to other places to lock up the passageway? Then my vitality will be greatly damaged. The cat rested its chin on its paws. Was that a good idea? Chapter 1046. South Capital Catacombs, Easternmost Area. The domain was as quiet as ever. Tributary of the Forbidden Sea. The first time he crossed the Forbidden Sea, Fong Ping was trembling with fear. Now, however, he was incomparably calm. He floated at a low altitude above the Forbidden Sea, not even looking down. Instead, he stared at the bounded domain on the opposite side. Mount Luofu. He had never been to Mount Luofu before. However, there was not much difference in the layout of the domain lands. They were all divided into two parts, the inner and outer parts. The outer perimeter was usually where the disciples lived or where the demons were raised. The inner area was where their foundation lay. The Luofu Mountain was one of the 10 great grotto heavens, and its sect master was also an emperor-level expert. This time, the venerable sovereigns of 3 different realms joined the battle, causing the humans to be unable to evacuate in time, and many peerless apex experts were killed or injured. Now that the venerable Luofu wasn't here, how many powerhouses were there in the sect? Fong Ping's gaze kept changing. He had already prepared how to enter Mount Luofu. That day at the king's battlefield, he killed many people from Mount Luofu. Among them, the Luofu Mountain's leader had a storage ring. Fong Ping had found it, and the Luofu Mountain's token was inside the ring. In the past, such a top-level 9 expert could open the boundary wall with his token. The key is the size of the commotion. The opening of a domain caused quite a commotion. Fong Ping was worried that someone would notice. If a dead person suddenly opened the door, he would be exposed immediately. Find a secluded place and sneak in. That might work. Actually, it was best to wait here. When the person came out, they would capture one and interrogate him for information. Then they would get rid of the imposter. But Fong Ping did not have the time. He did not know how long it would take for someone from the Luofu Mountain to come out. Now that the 3 domains were all sealed off from the outside world, who knew when they would be able to meet people again? Was Yinshi captured by them? Or kill him? Fong Ping's gaze was cold and stern. He frowned and quickly suppressed these thoughts. If Luofu Mountain did it, what was their purpose? Threatening me? However, Luofu Mountain did not reveal anything to the outside world. Fong Ping had a nagging feeling that Qin Yunshi's disappearance this time might not necessarily be because someone had captured her to threaten him. Few people would do something like capturing someone to threaten a powerhouse. It was meaningless. The reason why experts were experts was because they were decisive. When fighting, he would never surrender just because his family and friends were being threatened. All the experts knew one thing: strength was the foundation. Only a fool would do such a brainless thing like crippling one's martial arts. In the end, it would only result in one's family and friends dying together. If it was really people from Mount Luofu or other forces who had captured Qin Yinshi, Fong Ping felt that the possibility of them threatening him or Qin Yaoding was not high. Then why? Thoughts flashed through Fong Ping's mind, and he had a general idea of what was going on. Perhaps it was to force him to reveal his secrets. Fong Ping, was too much of a monster. He was so monstrous that even he was afraid of himself. In less than 3 years, an ordinary person had reached the pinnacle. Perhaps these people would think that Qin Yinshi knew something. Qin Yinshi was Fong Ping's office director in the Martial Arts Society. She was also Fong Ping's office director in the Heavenly Division. Rumors about Fong Ping and Qin Yinshi had been circulating in the outside world since a long time ago. There were not many people close to Fong Ping. People like Old Wang were very strong, and it was very difficult to capture them. But Qin Yinshi, rank 7, was nothing. Fong Yuan's family members were even weaker, but it was almost impossible to meet them in the catacombs. Do you want to interrogate Yinshi about my secret? Fong Ping frowned. Qin Yinshi actually knew some things. Even if Fong Ping did not say it, she could guess a lot. But it did not matter much. At this moment, it did not matter even if Fong Ping knew some of his secrets. The key was if Qin Yinshi did not say anything, he was afraid that there would be a lot of trouble. If these people really captured her and interrogated her for information, they would not treat her well. Whatever, let's sneak in first. Fong Ping looked around. The bounded zone was very long. He would find a more remote place to enter first. A more remote place. Maybe it would be better to enter from the sea. The bounded zone usually has an energy pool that is directly connected to the Forbidden Sea. The boundary wall over there is slightly weaker. Demons will often appear nearby. A little movement might not attract attention. Fong Ping thought, and in an instant he dove into the sea. In the sea, Fong Ping glanced around and quickly found a few demons. Near the bounded zone, there had always been demons wandering around. However, there were not as many as other places. Maybe because of the recent riots in the Forbidden Sea, some of these demons left. Fong Ping did not stand on ceremony. His mentality erupted, intimidating a few monsters. With a slash of the god-slaying saber, he killed a few rank 9 demons almost in the blink of an eye. After keeping the corpses, Fong Ping did not look back and quickly swam toward the bottom of the bounded zone. He had already sensed that the energy in front seemed to be much thicker. That might be the water outlet. Mount Luofu. It was like a fairyland. The sky palace floated in the air, its scale incomparably grand. It was not lifeless. At this moment, in the Mount Luofu Immortal Palace, there were many people. There were women dressed as palace maids, walking around from time to time. There were martial artists dressed in armor, patrolling the Sky Palace in teams. In the Sky Palace, there were monsters roaring, young men and women chatting and laughing, and there was faint celestial music. This was Mount Luofu. It was not as desolate as Quokang Mountain. Back then, there was only one person and one cat, sleeping separately. Mount Luofu was not as prosperous as it was now. However, before Venerable Emperor came out of the mountain, he woke up all the sleeping disciples. Among the 10 grotto heavens, Mount Luofu had suffered a lot of losses back then. However, there were also many survivors, much better than other blessed grotto heavens. Not only Mount Luofu, Mount Wangwu, Mount Weiyu, and other places, the losses were not as great as imagined. At this moment, Mount Luofu, in the central area of the Sky Palace, in an incomparably glorious, huge palace. With the rank 9 monster plant trunk as the main material, the metal comparable to the material of rank 7 or 8 divine weapons as the walls, and the huge energy stones filled with energy as the floor tiles, this huge palace was built. In front of the palace door, 3 magnificent words hung. Fong Ping might not recognize them even if he saw them. Azure Emperor Palace. Mount Luofu's Venerable Emperor was also known as Venerable Emperor Qingjing. Azure Emperor Palace was his palace. At this moment, in the huge main hall, there was a human voice. The huge throne in the middle of the main hall was empty. On the throne, there were huge gemstones inlaid. Even if there was no one, the throne exuded a faint pressure, making people not dare to look directly at it. Fong Ping had seen such a throne in Xuanda Grotto Heaven. At that time, he had guessed that it might be a desperate realm demon's demon core. And the truth was it was indeed so. This was also a proof of a battle record. It meant that the owner of the throne had once killed a desperate realm demon and left the other party's demon core. This was something that only an emperor level could do. At this moment, the huge throne was empty. Below, there were 6 huge seats on the left and right. 12 thrones. This was a treatment that only the top could have. Only the top could have a seat in the Azure Emperor Palace. This was proof of identity and status, as well as proof of strength. Other martial artists, no matter how high their status was or how strong their background was, if they were not at the top, they had to stand and speak in the Azure Emperor Palace. The main hall was not flat, but divided into steps. The Venerable Emperor's throne was high up, and the top's throne was slightly lower. Below it, the 9 steps were separated again, and this was where the others stood. At this moment, there were many people in the main hall. On the 12 thrones, there were also people. On the 3rd seat on the left sat a young man, dressed in a brocade robe, with long hair draped over his shoulders. At this time, he gently rubbed his temples, as if he was worried about something. A few female martial artists dressed as palace maids carefully placed the dishes on the table in front of the throne and poured wine into the wine glasses. Perfected Lord, it's time to eat. An extremely beautiful woman cautiously reminded him, with a face full of concern. Perfected Lord, don't hurt your body. I just picked fresh immortal fruits from the myriad orchard today. Perfected Lord, try it and see if it's to your taste. The young man raised his head, casually picked up the wine glass, and took a sip. He frowned slightly, as if he was not very satisfied. Soon, under the woman's uneasy gaze, he put down the wine glass heavily. The sound of the wine glass hitting the table also made the whispers below quiet down. The young man's face was cold as he said indifferently, "Noisy. You only know how to be noisy. You don't even know that disaster is imminent. If this goes on, how can Luofu Mountain prosper?" Below, a middle-aged man in a long robe with a long sword at his waist bowed slightly and said, "Ninth Elder, the sect's only major enemy now is the human world. Fong Ping of the human world considers himself the king of the human world and is extremely overbearing. Previously, sect master attacked in the graveyard of the gods, which will definitely cause Fong Ping to be dissatisfied." "Nonsense." The young man scolded. "I don't want to hear this nonsense. I summoned you here to let you decide if you want to cooperate with the divine sect." The young man had a headache and said coldly, "The divine sect wants to use us as pawns, as bait, to lure and kill Fong Ping. It sounds nice, and there's no danger, but how can I not know that the divine sect is trying to kill two birds with one stone? If we really lure Fong Ping out, the divine sect might just stand by and watch us kill each other. It's really hateful." After saying that, he frowned again and said, "But Fong Ping is becoming stronger so fast. Luofu Mountain is here, and there are no secrets of the Outland. As expected, Luofu Mountain, Watong Mountain, and a few other clans are the first forces that Fong Ping wants to deal with other than the four dynasties." He also had a sense of crisis. Everyone knew that humans would seek revenge for the smallest grievance. The people of the Outland could just close the Outland and hide in the void. You might not be able to find them then. But the bounded domain was here. They could not run away even if they wanted to. If not for the catacombs restraining the three major domains, they might have already started fighting with the human world. The young man did not care much before, but after Fong Ping killed True Lord Earthly Zhou, he was a little worried. True Lord Earthly Zhou, True God Stage 5. And his strength was comparable to True Lord Earthly Zhou. As the young man said, he murmured, "Fong Ping freak. More freak than King Wu. In just 3 years, from a mortal to a true god, this person's freak has never been heard of. Even if he is a reincarnated extreme path, heavenly emperor, he is also strong too fast. Since he was a reincarnated, even if he was recovering his strength, reaching the peak in 3 years, this speed was also frightening. And if he was really a reincarnated extreme path heavenly emperor, then he had to think of a way. Otherwise, Fong Ping, who was getting stronger and stronger, would become a big problem sooner or later." At this time, someone below said, "Elder, cooperating with the divine sect is tantamount to asking a tiger for its skin. But Fong Ping really wants to kill. Why don't we negotiate with the divine sect? Mount Luofu will open the passageway and let them enter the human world. The divine sect has many powerhouses. There is a high chance of killing Fong Ping in the human world. When they enter the human world and seal the passageway, they can only enter and exit from the outer realm. If the Netherworld King is still here, he will definitely stop the murderer. Maybe he can make the divine sect and the human world both suffer great losses." Easy for you to say. Why would the divine sect agree? If they really had this intention, they would have made a move long ago when Earthly Zhou fell. The young man sneered. "We want to see them both suffer great losses. They also want to see us and the human world suffer great losses. Now, the Netherworld King is hiding in the dark. It is also an important point that everyone is afraid of." The young man shook his head slightly and said quickly, "The human world is obviously a great enemy of all sides, but now they can't reach an agreement. They all want to be the fisherman who benefits. If this goes on, sooner or later, Fong Ping will grow up." Understanding was one thing, but doing it was difficult. It had to be said that Life King still had some ability. Everyone was afraid of death, did not want to die, did not want to become a sacrifice. Under such circumstances, Life King could summon the catacombs powerhouses to attack the human world together and kill the threat of King Wu. This was actually a great ability. Unfortunately, Life King was dead. Also, because of Life King's death, there were now not many people who dared to stand out. Killing Life King, that was a huge deterrent. The more the young man thought about it, the more irritated he became. He waved his hand and said, "All of you back off. Don't go out of the sect for now. Earthly Zhou is dead." Fong Ping must have guessed that one of the sects or grandmaster let Earthly Zhou enter. Previously, there were people patrolling the void in the human world, probably to find the door. This was done by Void Mausoleum Grotto Heaven. When necessary, maybe we can spread the news. Let Fong Ping and Void Mausoleum Grotto Heaven fight. Once they fight, maybe will be our chance. Now, everyone lacks someone to stand out. If Void Mausoleum Grotto Heaven was the one who stood out, maybe the others would hear the news and attack together. "Yes, sir." Everyone responded one after another. Even if they were asked to go out now, they might not dare. Now that it was very chaotic outside, they might be killed. Everyone left quickly. The palace maids also retreated under the young man's impatient gaze. After they had all left, the young man murmured, "Fong Ping, Fong Ping." That day, he had participated in the Battle of the King battlefield. Therefore, he saw Fong Ping's evilness, and he also saw Fong Ping's horror. When the late-stage Venerable Emperors left, he was a step slower and did not chase after them. Venerable Emperor Qing Jin sent a voice transmission asking him to return to the sect to take charge, so he returned to Mount Luofu. Compared to other people's hearsay, he really saw Fong Ping's ruthlessness. In his opinion, the most ruthless thing was when Fong Ping had just left the king battlefield. The second king's people were chasing him, and he turned around and killed a paragon under the second king's eyes, knowing that he was no match for them. Such a person was too scary. If Fong Ping doesn't die, the three realms will be in chaos sooner or later. But this person has only been cultivating for 3 years. How did he cultivate to this level? The young man frowned, quickly got up, and walked toward his palace. This was not his territory. This was the sect master's hall. His elder's hall was still next to it. He returned to his elder's hall. The young man ignored the greetings of the people in the palace and walked all the way to the depths of the palace. In the deepest part of the palace, there was a small courtyard. Outside the courtyard, 2 rank 9 powerhouses stood. When they saw the young man, they bowed and said, "Elder." Did he say it? No. The young man frowned, looking at the woman sitting cross-legged in the courtyard. Even when he came, the woman still closed her eyes and ignored him. "Tell me, I'll let you go," the young man said calmly. "You've served Fong Ping for some time. You can't be ignorant. Fong Ping must have secrets. Tell me, and you can save yourself the pain." In the courtyard, Chen Yunxi opened her eyes full of exhaustion, but her tone was unusually calm. "I said I don't know. I don't have any intimate relationship with Fong Ping. He has a lot of classmates. Would he tell everyone his secrets? Are you an idiot?" The young man snorted coldly. A flame-like energy rose in his hand, not floating toward Chen Yunxi, but falling under the small courtyard. In the small courtyard, a crystal-like barrier rose in all directions. In the next moment, a raging energy flame rose in the small courtyard. Chen Yunxi was sweating like rain, her body trembling, her mentality overflowing, a large amount of vitality force on the surface of her body evaporating. The young man said coldly, "Don't say that you don't know. I've investigated you. I'm very clear about your relationship with Fong Ping. You've tasted the taste of spirit fire, burning your vitality, burning your spiritual consciousness. I treated an enemy in the past, a martial artist of rank 8 origin, burning him for 3 days. Guess what his only wish was in the end?" Chen Yunxi ignored him. "Let me send him back to heaven. He died without dignity, without value, like a dog, begging me to kill him. I really don't know." Chen Yunxi's whole body trembled. The sound of her teeth chattering could be heard. She said shakily, "Me and him, it's just my one-sided love. Humans, there are too many people who like him. He's so dazzling. No one would dislike him. no matter how many times you ask me. It's useless. Then tell me, how did you reach rank 7 so quickly? The young man said coldly, before rank 6. I'm not curious. What I'm curious about is, how did he help you seal the Sanjiao Gate? Does he have any treasures that he especially values? How can he change his aura? How can he restrain his aura and not be detected at all? How is he different from ordinary people on normal days? I don't believe that he, who advanced to the peak in 3 years, has no abnormalities at all. If you say he doesn't, then you must be lying to me. Not only will you die, but also that useless rank 9 who entered this place recently. That's your grandfather, isn't it? I've already found his whereabouts. Wait until I catch him, burning his spiritual consciousness. I'll let you see how he dies in pain with your own eyes. I think you'll be looking forward to it. It's useless. Chen Yunxi smiled with difficulty. I really don't know. Even if you kill my grandfather, and I make up some lies, will you believe it? Tell me maybe. I'll believe it. The young man was indifferent. Whether it was true or false, he could more or less judge. He was really too curious. Fang Ping, how did he become stronger? If he could find out the secret of his strength, maybe he could also improve further, become a venerable emperor, a saint, or even a heavenly king. In the 3 realms, there would be many who were curious about Fang Ping. In the past, he could be wary of King Wu now. Fang Ping was also extremely strong. In the young man's opinion, the probability of Fang Ping telling his parents and family was not high. His parents were only low-ranked martial artists, and his sister was not considered strong. To be honest, as a young man, the probability of Fang Ping telling his women was higher. Chen Yunxi endured the pain and smiled. You really want to know? Then I'll tell you, the reason why he's so strong is actually because of King Wu. Do you believe it? The young man frowned. He's actually just King Wu's chess piece. Just a chess piece that deliberately attracts your attention. King Wu is the reincarnation of Heaven Reverse Emperor. He is just an ordinary martial artist. King Wu needs him to divert everyone's attention, so secretly helping him to continuously improve his strength. Chen Yunxi panted. That's the truth. Fang Ping also knows, but he needs to become stronger, so he can only show that he's very strong, very strong. I've told you everything I know. Are you messing with me? The young man snorted coldly. An energy flame appeared in his hand again, merging into the ground. In the courtyard, the raging flames flared up even more. The sound of flesh cracking could be heard. A large amount of vitality, force, and mentality were burned and evaporated. The young man saw that Chen Yunxi did not say a word, as if she was dead. He snorted coldly, waved his hand, and released a wave of energy, closing the courtyard door. At this moment, one of the 2 rank 9s by the door said in a low voice, Elder, the martial artists in the human world today are all people who can endure. Moreover, this woman may not really know anything. If the news is leaked and Fang Ping finds out, why not kill this woman and frame the divine sect or other sects? Of course I know that she may not know anything. The young man said indifferently. Continue to ask questions that are not important. She's still young, thinking that I only want to force Fang Ping to reveal his secrets, but she doesn't know. I have my own plans. Ask her everything clearly, how she interacts with Fang Ping normally, who are her friends in the human world. Elder. One of them seemed to know something, a little shocked, and said in a low voice, Elder, isn't this too risky? It's fine. The young man said lightly, there are benefits to taking risks, but do you know what I want to do? The rank 9 martial artist who was asked lowered his head and said, I saw a secret technique in the library of martial arts. You're in luck. The young man smiled faintly and said, after I took this cultivation technique that year, I stopped spreading it. It seems that you must have gone in and seen it that year. There are not many people who know about it now. As he said that, the young man stretched out his hand and patted his shoulder, saying with a smile, ask seriously. The more you know, the better. If I succeed, you too will benefit. Now that the sect leader is not here, the sect also needs a few new elders. Both of you are my direct descendants. If I become the sect leader, Elder, who do you think it will be? Both of them were extremely excited and answered hurriedly. The young man said no more, turned around, and left. The moment he turned his head, there was an additional coldness in his eyes. The more you know, the faster you die. Don't you know that trouble comes from the mouth? When things were done, these two people should also disappear. After he left, the two people in front of the door waited for a while. The other person said in a low voice, "Do you know what the elder wants to do?" "I guess a little." The person from before looked at the small courtyard and said telepathically, "This courtyard is not purely for torturing people. Did you see it? This woman's vitality and spiritual consciousness are constantly being burned and stripped from her flesh. These vitality and spiritual consciousness are not burned, but preserved by the array in the courtyard. This kind of burned vitality and spiritual consciousness, if it goes through the elder's cultivation technique, it can be attached to the elder's spiritual consciousness and vitality." As soon as this was said, the other person seemed to understand and said in shock, "The elder wants to impersonate this woman? Enter the human world." Not only that, maybe he also has the intention to get close to Fong Ping. This woman is said to be Fong Ping's lover. When the time comes, when she knows Fong Ping's secret, killing Fong Ping will be a piece of cake. But it's too risky. The elder is also full of courage, this person sighed. Ninth elder was full of courage. This was very dangerous. Once something was wrong, it would not be difficult for Fong Ping to join forces with the Netherworld King to kill Ninth Elder. However, if it really succeeded, then it would be amazing. Chen Yunqi's strength was not considered strong, so she would not attract too much attention. But her identity and status were not ordinary. Ninth Elder could even take the opportunity to jump out of this general situation and impersonate Chen Yunqi to hide in the human world. Maybe after King Wu and the others returned, he could even enter the core group of King Wu and the others. Her grandfather was a powerhouse in the human world, and it was said that his status was not low. Her lover was Fong Ping. If he was stronger like rank 9 or even broke through to the peak, then he would definitely become a core figure in the human world. If Ninth Elder impersonated her, if Fong Ping died, he could even use her identity to pretend to be King Wu's widow. It was fine if King Wu's widow was not strong, but if she was strong, in this period, it was extremely normal for her to rule the human world. When King Wu returned, maybe even King Wu would trust her. The more he thought about it, the more he felt that Ninth Elder's choice to capture Chen Yunqi was a good move. Ninth Elder was not considered a powerhouse in the three realms before, so he might not have the chance to do anything. But now, the chance was great. As he thought about this, his companion beside him was a little worried. This was a top secret. If Elder wanted to impersonate Chen Yunqi, once his identity was exposed, it would be extremely dangerous. Now that both of them knew, would Elder silence them? Although he was worried, on Mount Luofu, the sect leader had left, and the other elders were either dead or gone. Ninth Elder was heaven. If they did not listen to him now, they would only die faster. I hope Elder won't make a move. We are his direct subordinates. Elder also needs manpower. This person comforted himself, and soon thought of the rank 9 who had been wandering outside the sect recently. Elder. Maybe it was not that he did not find the other party. Instead, he deliberately did not kill him, did not capture him. Perhaps Elder had made preparations. When Chen Yunqi was unconscious or injured, Chen Yaoding would coincidentally find her and bring her back to the human world. The more he thought about it, the more he felt that Ninth Elder was extremely calculative. Perhaps Chen Yaoding was lured here by Elder himself. When that time came, Chen Yunqi would be fine, Chen Yaoding would be fine, and they would return safely. Even if Fong Ping knew that it was related to Mount Luofu, he might not make a move. Even if he did, Ninth Elder had already entered the human world, and he might not care about Mount Luofu's survival. Thinking about it this way, this person felt that the future might be a little bumpy. No wonder Elder has been asking us to pry for some unimportant information these days. This person turned around and took a look at the courtyard. The woman in the courtyard probably did not expect Elder to have such an idea. As for Elder being a male, when he reached the impasse, his golden body, was ever-changing. It was not too difficult to turn into a man or a woman. For the sake of the great plan, it was not unacceptable to turn into a woman. At this moment, Fong Ping, who had just sneaked into Mount Luofu, had never thought about this. If he knew, he would probably grind this ninth elder's bones into ashes. Chapter 1047. This is Mount Luofu. The place where Fong Ping emerged from was a spring under Mount Luofu's heavenly palace. There was no one around. Fong Ping transformed into that Mount Luofu rank 9's aura, made a small opening in the boundary wall through the token, and entered. As soon as he entered Mount Luofu, Fong Ping sensed a strong aura. There's a paragon, rank 9's, 24 people, more than 30 rank 8's, more than 50 rank 7's. Fong Ping was a little emotional. This was the blessed grotto heaven. Even if there were heavy losses, powerhouses were everywhere. This desperation is not weak. I'm afraid he is not weaker than true Lord Earthly Zhou. While Fong Ping was thinking, his figure flashed quickly, leaving the place. As soon as he left, a rank 9 powerhouse landed from the sky, glanced at the spring, frowned slightly, and murmured, "The seal is shaking a little." Are the demons at the bottom of the sea attacking the seal again? Just now the seal shook a little. This person was the powerhouse who usually presided over the formation. After investigating for a while, he did not find anything unusual. This person shook his head, soared into the sky again, and disappeared on the spot. Not far away, Fong Ping, who was hiding in the void, watched him leave silently and did not make a move. To destroy these blessed grotto heaven, the paragon must be killed first. If the paragon did not die, then the sect would not be destroyed. If the paragon died, even if the others did not die, they could not make too much of a splash. Fong Ping was about to sneak into the heavenly palace when he suddenly frowned. This place has more than one paragon. At this moment, Fong Ping felt a looming aura. The aura of a desperation. It was very weak, but it was real. A sleeping antique? Fong Ping made a judgment in his heart. Some antiques had really reached the end of their lifespan, and they would almost not wake up unless it was the last moment. Mount Luofu probably had an antique. Such an antique would not be weak. However, they were in a deep sleep, unless they encountered a fatal crisis. Otherwise, they would not wake up. Fong Ping looked in the direction of the heavenly palace. He sensed the looming aura just now. It came from the Lake of Eternal. The Lake of Eternal was also a standard of the blessed grotto heaven. Back then, Gong Zhuanzi's body was soaked in Quokang Mountain's Lake of Eternal. Later on, Elvision also went there to soak himself. As a result, Fong Ping, who initially had high hopes for the Lake of Eternal, lost all expectations in the end. Moreover, he could convert imperishable substances himself, using imperishable substances to maintain the vitality of the fleshly body. That's in line with old antiques' sleeping characteristics. Fong Ping withdrew all of his aura and sensed once more. He discovered that the active paragon was quite a distance away from the Lake of Eternal. Fong Ping was no longer worried. His silhouette flickered in the void. Perhaps even ordinary rank 9's could not see his movements. The Fong Ping of today was much stronger than before. From the underground to the heavenly palace, there were all kinds of restrictions. Without permission, even a rank 9 would be cut into pieces if they barged into the heavenly palace. However, to Fong Ping, not to mention that he could sense the correct path, even if he could not, these prohibitions would not be able to cut him. Fong Ping kept wandering in the space rift. Soon, Fong Ping broke into the heavenly palace area. The correct path led straight to a gigantic door. On the door was written, Zhu Mingyao's True Realm, Luofu Mountain, Zhu Mingyao's True Heaven of the 10 Great Heavens. 5 big words in flamboyant calligraphy shone with a strange light, captivating. These words were written by Venerable Emperor. On both sides of the decorated archway stood 4 powerhouses, 2 on each side. 2 rank 7's, 2 rank SXS. Obviously, Luofu Mountain had not exaggerated enough to use a rank 8 golden body to guard the door of the Heavenly Palace. A rank 8 golden body, even in ancient times, was also a figure of a region. An indestructible golden body, the limit of physical development. These were all represented by a rank 8 powerhouse. At this moment, the 4 gatekeeping martial artists were extremely quiet, not saying a word. Guarding the door was actually just one meaning. No one thought that anyone could break into Luofu Mountain. Even if they did, they would have been discovered long ago. They were guarding here to prevent people from the outer sect below from breaking in. However, in the war that year, the inner sect was still fine, but the outer sect people were almost all dead. Today, there were not many people in the outer sect. Some were prisoners captured from the outer sect. Some were resurrected martial artists. Yes, resurrected martial artists. Star Town's resurrected martial artists. All these years, Star Town had sent people into the land of rebirth. When Fong Ping was in the Hall of Myriad Origins, he sensed a lot of life origins. Some people were resurrected, some did not, but there were not many resurrected martial artists left in Star Town, because a part of them had entered the blessed Grotto Heavens. Fong Ping knew about these things. Back then, the people in Star Town had told him that if there was a matching aura, they might give him an opportunity. This opportunity was to enter the blessed Grotto Heavens. Li Jun had entered the blessed Grotto Heavens before. Zhang Tao once said that no one existed in the blessed Grotto Heavens that Li Jun had entered. Not a single one. But now, Fong Ping discovered that there were people in the 8 major territories. Whether Li Jun had entered one of the 8 major blessed Grotto Heavens back then was up for debate. He did not know if that place had been destroyed or still existed. Although Fong Ping had been to many places, he had not been to many of the 108 outer sections. Here at Luofu Mountain, resurrected martial artists had entered. After entering, they had never left again. Now, these people were in the outer sect below. These people were the outer sect disciples that Luofu Mountain had left in the human world. They had entered the catacombs with the demon emperor to fight, and almost all of them had died in battle. Places like Luofu Mountain did not trust these outer sect disciples. No one knew if they were pawns set up by the demon emperor. Of course, they did not dare to put them in important positions. However, some trivial matters could still be handed over to these people to take care of. Feeding monsters, planting immortal fruits, servants, palace, maids, these people might have been selected from the outer sect disciples. However, there were very few who could enter the heavenly palace. Luofu Mountain did not care too much about those people below. Fong Ping had actually seen and sensed it. He saw that some people's auras were weak, and some people were plowing like cows. He did not know what to think. If these people had stayed in the human world like Sheng Quan and the others, they would also be respected powerhouses now. But they had chosen to enter the blessed Grotto Heavens. Over at Star Town, Fong Ping knew that they would not force you to go. Of course, there were some temptations, but it was still up to them to choose whether to go or stay. Since these people had entered the blessed Grotto Heavens and were now in this state, Fong Ping did not want to say anything. The heavenly palace only had this main door. There were no obstructions around, but layers of restrictions were set up. Anyone who came would have to pass through this door. Fong Ping hid in the void dozens of meters in front of the door plate. He did not show himself, nor did he force his way in. He sensed a hint of murderous intent. The few big words on the door plate seemed to contain some special energy. If he broke through the void and entered, he might be attacked. These powerhouses were not really defenseless against intruders. Fong Ping was not afraid of such attacks, but in this way, he would be exposed. They're quite careful. They even set up such restrictions inside their own lair. Fong Ping muttered in his heart. His mentality and energy dissipated and spread out slowly. There were some voices in his ears. Master, when can we reappear in the 3 realms? Wait, senior sister, the set of cultivation methods that Master mentioned before, I don't understand. Senior sister, mother, I want to go to the human world to have a look. Why can't I open the door? Ninth Elder has strictly ordered that no one is allowed to open the door to the human world. There are powerhouses in the human world now. I know. Is that Fong Ping? The person who claimed to be the king of man. Damn it. When has the Luo Fu immortal realm ever feared an ant in the mortal world? Once Ninth Elder has killed Fong Ping, I will definitely make a trip to the human realm to slay those devils and uphold justice. Slay demons and defend justice. Yes, the neo-martial artists in the human world were the devils, the publicly acknowledged fiend of the three realms. Who is the righteous path? The human realm beyond heavens, the land of boundaries, the overseas immortal islands, and the divine sect were all righteous. Because the divine sect was also the orthodox of the heavenly court. King Kuan was one of the 8 kings, and so were the 3 sages, who dared to say that the divine sect was not orthodox. Even the catacombs 4 majestic halls had their roots in the earthly emperor divine dynasty. Whether or not the earthly emperor's projection was the earthly emperor himself, it was still the earthly emperor. Therefore, the only thing in the 3 realms that wasn't considered orthodox was the human world. Was Heavenly King Zhen one of the 8 kings? I don't know. Even if it was, the human world was not the orthodoxy of the heaven-subduing king. Therefore, the human world was the demonic path. At this moment, Fong Ping laughed at himself in his heart. This was the position of the human world in the eyes of all parties. Demonic Tao. Slay demons and defend justice was a matter of course. The human realm beyond heavens, the land of boundaries, these places all regarded the human world as the demonic path. Therefore, in their eyes, the martial artists in the human world could be killed by them. But once they were killed by the martial artists in the human world, it would be the demonic path wreaking havoc. The person who spoke just now was probably not very old. Even the ancient people were sealed when they were young. But at such a young age, they had developed a deep-rooted impression that they were immortals, gods, and the righteous path. Disobedience in the human world was the demonic path. We have to slay demons and defend justice. Then today, I will let the demonic path wreak havoc. Fong Ping snorted coldly in his heart. Slay demons and defend justice in the human world? What a righteous cause. He had long seen through this group of hypocrites. They thought they were infallible, thought they were immortals, and were arrogant. Did they think they could dictate the fate of humans? Ridiculous. At this moment, Fong Ping's mentality erupted instantly destroying most of the mentality of a rank 6 monster that was wandering leisurely behind the archway. Roars! This monster suddenly went berserk, madly crashing into the Imperial Road in the distance. Seeing this scene, a few martial artists guarding the door turned their heads to look. Seeing the monster with red eyes, one of the rank 7 martial artists cursed in a low voice. These demons should all be chased away. They make a ruckus from time to time. If they stay in the immortal palace, the palace won't have peace. Although he was cursing, the person still said quickly, "Go suppress it. Don't disturb the peace of the elders and the deacons." Hearing that, the 2 rank 6 martial artists hurried over there. Seeing that they had gone, the other rank 7 martial artists said helplessly, "Recently, the elders have not been in a good mood. The deacons are also in a bad mood. I'm afraid you and I will be reprimanded again this time." As for the rank 6 monster going berserk, monsters below the high ranks did not have high intelligence. Going berserk was not too surprising. After staying in the heavenly palace for a long time, these demons were also depressed. Venting a little was not a big deal. As the 2 chatted, their gazes were also looking over there. The rank 6 monster was not weak. The 2 rank 6 martial artists had their hands and feet tied. They could not take it down for a while. Seeing this scene, both of them secretly cursed useless. If the commotion was any bigger, it would attract the attention of the adults. Both of them could not care less about their pride and hurried over there. Behind them, Fong Ping's silhouette was faintly discernible, flickering constantly, like a shadow, following them. Very soon, the 2 rank 7 martial artists subdued the rank 6 monster. They did not kill it. It looked like they were going to escort it to the outer sect. Fong Ping, however, could not be bothered with them. He did not make a move on them either. After passing the decorated archway, other than guarding against the paragon, He did not need to care too much about the others. Fong Ping headed straight for the Lake of Eternal. The slumbering apex expert was his first target. Once this kind of antique woke up, it would be a great threat. But in its deep sleep, he might be able to kill the other party easily. Of course, he could not kill it completely. Otherwise, Dao would collapse and he would be discovered instantly. Leaving behind a little mentality primer was not a problem. Fong Ping calculated everything clearly and hurried on his way. If he met anyone on the way, he would try to avoid them. After a while, a heavily guarded place appeared in front of Fong Ping. It was a huge garden. Outside the door, no one was standing guard, but there was a building that looked like a gatehouse. Among them, a rank 9 and a rank 8 powerhouse were chatting in the gatehouse. 2 powerhouses were keeping watch. Obviously, this place was very important. Senior, do you think Third Elder has not woken up for so many years? Could it be? Be careful with your words. The rank 9 old man growled and said quickly, Third Elder has been in closed-door cultivation for many years. When he comes out this time, he might be able to achieve the position of Venerable Emperor. Although he said it, the old man did not believe it himself. Third Elder was already old. True gods and venerable emperors were known to have a lifespan of 10,000 years. But in reality, it was still different. If a true god could live for 8,000 years, then you were lucky. You were strong and close to emperor level. Under normal circumstances, if a true god was over 5,000 years old, then they had to sleep often. Otherwise, they would age quickly and enter their old age. As for emperor-level powerhouses, the stronger they were, the longer they lived. The limit of 10,000 years was only for those ordinary emperor-level powerhouses. The stronger they were, the stronger their life essence, the later they would enter the end of their lives. Their third elder was already over 7,000 years old. He might really enter the end of his life. If he did not wake up now, it was not the time for the last fight. Once he woke up, if he did not become an emperor, he might age and die quickly. Over at Mount Luofu, Grand Elder had already passed away in meditation a few years ago. Second Elder had died in the Graveyard of Gods that year. 12 elders, either dead or in deep sleep, and a few younger ones had also followed into the Cemetery of Gods this time. In the sect, only 2 true gods, Third Elder who was in deep sleep and Ninth Elder who was still presiding over the sect, were present. The old man flattered and did not speak again, but his mentality began to fluctuate. As for Fong Ping, he hid outside, his mentality also overflowed. Both of them were communicating telepathically. Fong Ping now knew why old Zhang liked to eavesdrop. Eavesdropping on other people's telepathic conversations was a very satisfying thing. Junior, now in the sect, Ninth Elder presides over the sect affairs. You know Ninth Elder's personality. He seems unmoved, but in reality, his mind is gloomy. The less he speaks, the more mistakes he makes. Third Elder is Ninth Elder's master. Be careful not to be caught. Thank you for reminding me, Senior. I also lost my head for a moment just now. The middle-aged man thanked him and said, Senior, there has been some abnormalities in the sect recently. Previously, there were martial artists bombarding the seal outside the sect, but Ninth Elder asked US to guard the sect and not let people out. This, probably not willing to have a conflict with the human world. It is said that the ones who bombarded the seal were human martial artists. Those devils in the human world are extremely daring. Now that the sect master is not here, Ninth Elder is not wrong to act cautiously. It is just that he has lost the sect's face. However, we're just mere executives. This matter is not up to us. No. I heard that recently Senior Qingyan and Senior Qingming have been in the Hall of Elders and have not come out. Senior, do you think Ninth Elder is planning something? Don't be nosy. Senior, it's not that we are nosy, but we have to think for ourselves. Although we have been sealed for many years, our lifespans are also reaching the limit. If we don't become true gods, I'm afraid our lifespans will be exhausted and we will die. What do you want to do? I'm just a little curious about what Ninth Elder is doing. Ninth Elder definitely wants to become an emperor. And now, It is said that the human world's Tao is loosening. Do you think Elder wants to take the opportunity to go to the human world to achieve Tao? That person from the outside world. Could it be related to this? Related to this? Could it be that Elder wants to befriend the human world martial artists and take the opportunity to enter the human world? But the sect master fought with the human world's martial artists before. Both of them were still talking. After being sealed for thousands of years, it was rare for them to wake up now. Both of them were also very talkative. Fong Ping listened for a while. He did not gain much, but he noticed a few points. There were 2 rank 9s in the Hall of Elders who had not come out. He sensed it, but it was somewhat blocked. In addition, there was a paragon there, so he did not dare to investigate carefully. Secondly, someone had attacked the stronghold from the outside. The probability of it being Chun Yaoding was not small. This old man actually came here. He must have discovered something. Otherwise, with Chun Yaoding's personality, he would not rashly enter the boundary zone. The old man did not go back. He did not inform me. He chose to come by himself. Fong Ping sighed softly in his heart. He somewhat knew what Chun Yaoding was thinking. Fong Ping could not easily take the risk. If he came to Mount Luofu, if he was left behind on Mount Luofu, or if a great battle broke out and he was surrounded by other powerhouses, the probability of Fong Ping being surrounded and killed here was very high. If he stayed on Earth, those powerhouses would not dare to go to Earth and risk their lives. Nonsense. A weak rank 9 who has just broken through to the boundary zone? Is he courting death? Fong Ping cursed in his heart. But before he came, he did not sense Chun Yaoding's aura. This old man must have also hidden and did not continue to stay nearby. Hiding. The probability of him hiding in the Forbidden Sea was higher. However, this was also a very dangerous thing. Fong Ping did not know how he could resist the erosion of the Forbidden Sea seawater. Hall of Elders. Hall of Elders, wait a little longer. There's a paragon over there. It's too dangerous. Here? Their 3rd elder is in a deep sleep. I'll kill him first. Fong Ping thought in his heart. This time he did not have any scruples. He traveled through the void directly, passed by both of them, and entered the big garden. In the garden, the scenery was great. However, Fong Ping did not pay attention to it. He had already seen the constantly tumbling golden water in the depths. The lake of imperishable matter. The rich, imperishable matter was imprisoned in a side of the lake. This was also the accumulation of the boundary zone during its peak period. Above the lake, a transparent cover appeared. This was a sealing array, preventing the imperishable matter from leaking out. Fong Ping observed for a while, and very quickly he had an idea. This defensive cover was probably set up by the 3rd elder, who was in a deep sleep. It was to prevent people from trespassing into his place of hibernation. Once Fong Ping broke in, the other party might wake up very quickly. However, with such a close distance, Fong Ping did not necessarily need to break in to kill him. In the next moment, Fong Ping's figure flickered, hiding behind a big tree. There was no one here. This was the 3rd elder's hibernation place. No one else could enter without permission. Fong Ping quickly closed his eyes. He had already sensed 3rd elder's aura. He would enter his path of origin first. In the blink of an eye, Fong Ping's figure appeared in front of a slightly dim avenue. It was very dim. One could even say that it was dark. The avenue was a little deathly still. A paragon who was about to fall, his willpower was no longer strong. After sleeping for many years, even his reaction speed was very slow. If Fong Ping barged into other people's daos, the powerhouses would react quickly. However, at this moment, Fong Ping's appearance did not seem to trigger any reaction from the other party's origin. When this happened, it usually meant that the other party's strength was not as good as Fong Ping's. Therefore, when Fong Ping barged in, they would not notice at all. Sensing this scene, Fong Ping was also speechless. You deserve to die. This time, Fong Ping was not in a hurry to sever his opponent's Dao. Since the other party had yet to react, he could take his time. Fong Ping did not step into the main street. He stood in front of the main street, his god-slaying saber appearing, aiming at the intersection of the main street. This time, he was prepared to cut off the other party's main street directly. Leaving 1 to 2 meters would be enough. If the great path was severed, leaving a meter or two behind, the other party would be severely injured immediately. Fong Ping had no problem suppressing a severely injured paragon. Without the amplification of the origin Dao, even an emperor might not be his match. Fong Ping aimed at Dao. He raised his saber and brandished it, preparing for a moment. As for his supreme, great Dao that was about to fall, he had no interest in taking a closer look. Moreover, he might be discovered by the other party if he entered. Kill! Fong Ping let out a low growl. The speed of his saber was unbelievably fast. Rumble, crack. When he went all out and the other party did not notice, it was not too difficult for Fong Ping to sever the other party's Dao with the divine weapon in his hand. Moreover, the other party's Dao was already rotten. A loud cracking sound rang out in the source world. At this moment, in the void, an extremely old figure appeared. The old man's hair and beard were all white, as if he had just woken up and was still a little dazed. However, when he saw that his Dao had been severed, the old man sobered up instantly. But it was too late. At this moment, Fong Ping's figure disappeared instantly. The next moment, Fong Ping's real body was extremely fast, quickly breaking through the Lake of Eternal's defensive barrier. Almost in the blink of an eye, at the bottom of the lake, Fong Ping pressed one hand on the head of an extremely old man. Crack! Fong Ping did not hesitate at all, directly crushing the other party's skull. Not only that, his mentality erupted instantly, sealing off the surroundings. Only at this moment, in the lake, an illusory spirit body appeared. Before he finished speaking, Fong Ping blasted out a punch, blasting the other party's illusion into pieces. Fong Ping grabbed a small piece and held it in his hand. Holding the god-slaying saber in his right hand, with a sweep of the saber, the other fragments were instantly shattered, completely obliterated. Fong Ping pinched a small fragment in his left hand. At this moment, the fragment turned into the old man's appearance. Fong Ping glanced at it and said lightly, "I almost killed you. You scared me. Don't ask me who I am. There's no need to. Don't say that you're innocent. Everyone has their own difficulties. All right, I've explained everything that needs to be explained. Go back to sleep." While the old man was still in a daze, Fong Ping set up layers after layers of mentality barriers, sealing the small pieces of mentality fragments. "It's my first time killing a paragon is so easy. It seems like I'm really made for being an assassin. Don't feel lonely. Soon, I'll send the others to meet you. If we're going to die, we'll die together. Otherwise, if you die and they're still alive, won't you be jealous? Look at your current situation. Your Dao has been severed, your golden body destroyed. Even if I let you live, you won't be able to live for more than a few days. Right? Are you interested in telling me some secrets? For example, what weaknesses does your ninth elder have? I heard that you're his master. He's been very carefree recently. If he doesn't die, won't you be jealous?" The little illusory figure was a little lifeless. These words, for him, who had already reached the end of his life, it had to be said that there was some truth to it. A powerhouse who had reached this stage was really unwilling. He was also very jealous of those powerhouses who still had lifespans. However, these words, coming from the mouth of a powerhouse who had killed him, really made him speechless. After a pause, third elder said in a weak voice, "I." Just as he spoke, Fong Ping's mentality suddenly shook. With a crack, the illusory figure was slightly shattered. Fong Ping bared his teeth. "You actually want to *King self-destruct. Are you crazy? If you self-destruct and your Dao crumbles, won't you be discovered? All right, I won't ask you anymore. You're smarter than I thought. I'll just seal you." Fong Ping strengthened the seal again. His mentality kept shaking, extremely careful. For the first time, he realized that it was so difficult not to kill the enemy. He couldn't shatter this fragile mental power. If it shattered, the other party would die completely. If he died, he might be exposed. Sigh, it's so hard to leave someone alive. Fong Ping sighed. Only when the other party was about to completely dissipate did Fong Ping stop. At this point, this extremely powerful third elder was easily taken care of by Fong Ping. Fong Ping squatted at the bottom of the lake, rubbing his chin. Should I go to the Hall of Elders first? Or should I pretend to be this old man here to lure that ninth elder over and ambush him? I'm afraid that the other party doesn't trust his master. That'll be even more troublesome. Forget it. I'd better go to the Hall of Elders first and find out how to kill the other party more easily. Fong Ping thought for a while and looked at the imperishable substance in the lake. This thing, he did not want it. It had soaked in the old man's corpse before. However, the others did not know. Even if they knew, they might not care. After he was done with his work later, he had to bring these things away. At least 100,000 yuan of imperishable substance and above. This was the least. It was also mixed with a large amount of energy liquid. It was all money. He could not let it go. The first battle was successful. I killed a paragon. Fong Ping counted for himself. The number of paragons he had killed was not little, but it was slightly less than Old Zhang. Old Zhang had killed dozens of paragons alone previously. He had to surpass him as soon as possible. In the next moment, Fong Ping's figure flickered. Very quickly, he left the lake of imperishable substances and rushed toward the Hall of Elders. When a powerhouse with a paragon's combat strength had no aura and could not be sensed, such a powerhouse was an existence that people feared. Not to mention that Fong Ping had many tricks up his sleeves. He could even break into the origin path. With a divine weapon in hand, he was an even more nightmarish existence. Chapter 1048. Elder's Hall. The moment Fong Ping defeated third elder, ninth elder, who was preparing to cultivate, suddenly opened his eyes. His gaze seemed to penetrate through all obstacles, looking in the direction of the Lake of Eternal. What's wrong? The ninth elder murmured. Was the old man about to wake up? The third elder was his master. He had been asleep for a very, very long time. Was he going to wake up now? Elder Joe was not happy. Instead, he frowned. Now that the sect master and the others had just left, it was finally his turn to be the sect master of Mount Luofu. Now he was also preparing for a big plan. Now that his master had come out of seclusion, it was not a good thing. Is he waking up, or is his lifespan about to run out? The ninth elder murmured. In the next moment, he stood up and walked out of the training room. Looking in that direction once more, the aura of his master, who he could still sense in the past, was now shockingly weak. The ninth elder frowned again. Was he going to die? It didn't really matter if he died. However, at this juncture, a true god of Luofu Mountain had fallen, and the great Tao had collapsed. It might cause some trouble, and it would also attract the attention of some people to Luofu Mountain. I can't die now, and I can't leave seclusion either. Thinking of this, the ninth elder stepped into the air and quickly rushed in that direction. He had to focus on something. Oh! Fong Ping exhaled inwardly. That was close. I almost ran into him. This won't do. That old man's mental strength won't last long. Once he dies, this guy will immediately react. Fong Ping frowned. Should he follow this ninth elder and look for an opportunity to assassinate him? Or should he go to the Hall of Elders to take a look? Chen Yaoding had come. There was an expert in the Elder Hall. Fong Ping actually had some ideas. To the Elder Hall. Fong Ping made up his mind. Over there, ninth elder would not rush in to check. Would he? If they were really exposed, then they would just have to kill them. Fong Ping made up his mind. Ninth elder's departure was a good thing. Without Elder Jiu keeping watch, Fong Ping sped up and entered the Hall of Elders in the blink of an eye. He had already sensed the aura of the two level 9 experts. The other party was guarding something. Deep inside the compound, there was some obstruction. Fong Ping's senses were a little blurry. However, Fong Ping saw it very soon. In the small courtyard, a thin woman sat cross-legged on the ground. His clothes had long been dyed red with blood. At this moment, the two rank 9s outside the door were still asking questions. Tell me Fong Ping's secret, and you'll suffer less. If this goes on, you won't be able to hold on for more than a day. Your body will collapse, and your spiritual sense will shatter. That's right, Mississippi. Even if you don't tell us Fong Ping's secret, it's not really a secret if you tell us some things about humans. But us two brothers can also explain it to the elder, and you can also avoid some pain. One of them had a red face while the other had a white face. One was interrogating while the other was exhorting. The person who advised her sighed and said, "Or perhaps I should say something about your life. Young lady, you are still young. Your parents and brothers should still be alive. Now that the elders are not here, this old man also had a daughter who was about the same age as you. What a pity." Sigh. The man sighed and said, "Tell this old man. You can divert some of the pain. This old man is doing his best to suppress the formation. This is the only thing this old man can do." Qingyun. Another person berated. "Once the elders find out." Destiny. "How will the elders find out if you don't tell them? Back then, my daughter died. You saw it for yourself. This young lady is still young. This old man did not let her go. I only wanted to ease some of her pain. You and I have been brothers for many years. Are you going to tell on me even for this?" Destiny frowned and quickly snorted. "Be careful. If the elders find out, it'll be troublesome. Also, Qin, you better tell us more. That way, we will have an excuse to say that we are interrogating you for information." Qin opened her eyes. The tiredness in her eyes intensified. Hearing that, she said softly, "Thank you both for your kindness. Since the two of you have treated me so well, then I will say a few words." Qin pondered for a moment and said slowly, "My life is very short. There is nothing worth writing about. Since that elder of yours wants to know Fong Ping's secret, then I will say a few things. Fong Ping actually doesn't like me at all. He has someone he loves. It's a pity that he can't talk about it." Qin smiled bitterly. "It's useless for you to capture me. I'm not trying to absolve myself. Since I'm here, I have no plans to go back. But I don't want to die just like this. I don't want to let that be *tch have it easy." Qin eyes were cold. "Fong Ping, the person you love, is not on Earth. In the catacombs, a woman of extremely high status. A woman who has risked her life for Fong Ping multiple times. A woman who will never be accepted by humans. Ji Yao. If you really understand Fong Ping and Ji Yao, then you should know that the two of them have worked together many, many times. Fong Ping has let Ji Yao go time and time again. Ji Yao has also let Fong Ping go time and time again. She even helped him grow when he needed it the most. Both of them were stunned. Ji Yao? Was it real or fake? They knew this person. She was the granddaughter of Destiny Royal Court's Life King, Ji Hong's daughter. Now, she was also the Ji family spokesperson in Destiny Royal Court. Fong Ping actually liked Ji Yao? These two people were related. In the air, Fong Ping, who was about to attack, suddenly smirked. "What did you not learn?" "You learned how to fool people. Deserve to be hit." Looking at the vitality and mentality that were overflowing in the courtyard, Fong Ping's eyes regained their coldness. In the next moment, Fong Ping suddenly appeared behind the two stunned people. Both of them knew nothing. Inside the door, Qin was facing him. She saw everything clearly, but she was indifferent. She continued, "You can choose not to believe me, but if you investigate carefully, you will definitely find some clues. Once you capture Ji Yao, you will know how anxious Fong Ping is. Also, at this point, I want to tell you a secret." "What?" Qin suddenly smiled brightly. Her smile made the two of them confused. "Fong Ping actually doesn't like women. I was lying to you just now. He likes men." Having said that, she even flashed a cheeky smile. Both of them were stunned again. Then they felt a little angry. Just as they were about to lose their temper, someone patted them from behind. Under the horrified gazes of the two, their bodies were smashed into pieces like mud. "I like men," Fong Ping said helplessly. "Stupid girl, you've learned to spread rumors." "The truth." Qin smiled. "I always feel that you and Brother Wang and the others have an improper relationship. You deserve to be hit." Fong Ping smiled bitterly. "You're already like this, and you're still talking nonsense. That's why I said it." Qin stood up slowly, panting. "Don't save me. If we break this formation now, that person will sense it. Pretend to be one of them and tell them that I've revealed Fong Ping's secret. That powerhouse will be interested. Ambush him, right? Can you kill him? Yes. Then ambush him. Chunyichi walked to the door and looked at Fong Ping. There was a faint smile in her eyes. I won't die yet. I can even hold on for a day. Just save me in a day. If the ambush doesn't work, then go back first. If I die, just avenge me. Also, let me ask you, do you like men or women? Fong Ping was speechless. He threw the two fellows who were almost crippled to the ground. Pay attention to something important. This is very important. Women, that'll do. Chunyichi smiled brightly. Go. Kill him if you're confident. Just call him Elder. Also, don't eavesdrop on me next time. I'm not eavesdropping. Fong Ping laughed. He killed one of them with one palm and instantly transformed it into his aura. Then hold on for a while. I'll come and get you after I destroy Mount Luofu. Fong Ping said, then asked, have you cried? No. You're a tough guy. You're the tough guy. Chunyichi scolded him with a smile. I'm a weak woman. It hurts a lot. You're not leaving yet. You're making me suffer on purpose. You're so mean. I saw you smiling so happily. I thought you weren't in pain, Fong Ping said, and turned to leave. As he walked, he said, suffering is a blessing. Next time, you should stay in Magic City. Let's see if you dare to run around. It's easy if you want to become stronger. When we get to Magic City, I'll help you achieve a golden body. Got it. You're still not leaving. Are you trying to piss me off? I'm leaving. I'm leaving. Fong Ping's silhouette flashed. His clothes changed rapidly, and so did his appearance. After he left, Chunyichi fell to the ground. She looked at Qin Yun, who was still alive, and chuckled. See? Your nightmares are here. He's singing a two-man show with me. He hasn't gone out for thousands of years. His brain must be flooded with water. He's so good at fooling people. I've been watching how he fooled people. How could he be fooled by idiots like you? It's a pity he came early. Otherwise, he might be able to watch a big show. Do you think that stupid elder of yours will go and capture Ji Yao? If he did, then it wouldn't be in vain for me to come up with a story for the past few days. Qin Yun's eyes widened, but he did not make a sound. At this moment, he was only left with a trace of mentality, preserving his aura. Seeing this, Chunyichi panted. I can't say it anymore. I'll piss you off. If you die of anger and your aura is extinguished, he'll be in trouble. But after he kills that elder of yours, I'll piss you off again, okay? A muffled throaty sound could be heard. I won't say anymore. You guys are too weak. Chunyichi ignored him. She looked outside the courtyard door, a smile still on her face. He was here, even if she did not expect him to come. The moment he appeared in front of her, she felt that he was the only one in the world. Pain? It was nothing. He said he liked women. I'll remember that. In the Hall of Elders, Fong Ping's aura exploded. There was no smile on his face, only coldness. 70% of Chunyichi's mentality had been burned. Completely burned. Her vitality was almost completely burned away. Fong Ping knew that this kind of pain was more painful than self-detonating mentality. That was because his mentality had been burned once before. It was a light touch, but he was in unbearable pain. It was hard to imagine that Chunyichi, who had burned 70% of her mentality, could still smile. You're braver than I thought. It's a pity. I'm weaker than you think. In this 3 realms, I'm still not the strongest. Not to the point where everyone fears me like a demon. But this time, it's time for me to be a demon. At this moment, 9th Elder's aura flashed in the distance. Fong Ping's aura exploded. 9th Elder could not care less about 3rd Elder's situation. Destiny's aura suddenly exploded. Something urgent must have happened. Did Chunyichi say something? Or was she dead? In the next moment, 9th Elder's figure appeared in the distance. The coldness on Fong Ping's face dissipated instantly, turning into anxiety. He could not wait to rush over, but he dared not. Elder, an immensely anxious shout rang out. 9th Elder landed immediately and appeared in front of him. He frowned and asked, "What happened?" Elder, Fong Ping was so anxious that he seemed to be unable to speak. In the next moment, he suddenly turned around and pointed to the depths of the Hall of Elders, saying anxiously, that ninth elder snorted coldly. He stopped asking and leaped over Fong Ping to see for himself. Fong Ping seemed to have expected such a reaction from him. The moment he leaped over Fong Ping, the god-slaying saber was in his hand. This time, Fong Ping did not say a word. He was as silent as a dead man. He swung the saber. Fast, ruthless, accurate. It was done in one go. The hand holding the saber was as steady as a mountain. Fong Ping had never been so confident. I can shatter his golden body with one slash. I'm that strong. Strong enough to make people tremble, to make people fear, to make people not dare to provoke Fong Ping anymore. The void shattered. Ninth Elder was terrified. At this moment, his first reaction was to concentrate all his strength under his feet. Run! He had been closed in by a top-notch powerhouse. Moreover, he had closed in when he was defenseless. Could he escape now? This slash, Fong Ping was extraordinarily strong. It was too steady, so steady that his control of strength had improved. Boom! An earth-shattering roar came from Ninth Elder's head. In the next moment, his head exploded like a watermelon. Fong Ping's saber did not stop at all. With a crash, from top to bottom, his golden body was sliced in half. At this moment, the saber's aura overflowed. With a boom, the front hall of the Hall of Elders exploded into powder. Everyone in the front hall, no matter how strong they were, was crushed into powder at this moment. Fong Ping did not say a word. He did not verbally attack the other party. Almost at the same time, the second slash followed like a shadow, slashing toward the spirit body that had just appeared. Kacha! His mental power was instantly destroyed into a mess. A top-notch powerhouse who was not much weaker than him had ambushed him with a divine weapon. Something like this had never happened since ancient times, because no one of the same rank could get close without concealing it. Fong Ping. His golden body was slashed, his mentality destroyed, but Fong Ping did not have any intention of underestimating the other party. At this moment, Fong Ping broke into the other party's origin Dao. In the other party's moment of extreme fear, he slashed again. At the same time, Fong Ping's origin world appeared, colliding with the other party's origin world with a boom. Crack! Both parties' origin worlds were cracking. Fong Ping, on the other hand, slashed 100 times in one go. With a crack, he severed the other party's Dao. Fast. So fast that it could not be any faster. From start to finish, in the blink of an eye, not even a second. This was even faster than the ambush on Third Elder earlier. At this moment, Fong Ping withdrew his origin. His mentality erupted, sweeping in all directions, gathering the mentality fragments one by one. He grasped them and forcefully pressed them into the golden body that was about to turn into a pulp of flesh. The other party's golden body was still recovering. Fong Ping's god-slaying saber struck again, one slash after another. He obliterated the other party's imperishable substance, constantly obliterating it. It was too fast. Ninth Elder let out a beast-like roar. In the distance, some powerhouses noticed the commotion and rushed over. Fong Ping did not care about them. Again and again, very soon, scarlet blood flowed out of the golden body. The imperishable substance was obliterated. When a desperate situation bled red blood, it meant that it had reached its limit. At this moment, Fong Ping said, "Don't worry, you won't die so quickly. This time, the headquarters will torture you to death in front of all the powerhouses in the 3 realms. I'll let you know what a demon is. Don't even think about running. You won't be able to escape. You can't even self-destruct." Fong Ping sneered. His palm grew bigger, grabbing him. Crack, crack, he almost squeezed the other party into a meatball. Fong Ping held the meatball in his hand and said lightly, "So weak. Is this the lawful mountain that I'm cautious of? Looks like you're going to be annihilated today." Having said that, Fong Ping's mentality erupted instantly. He did not kill, did not intimidate. Instead, he formed a wall and flew in all directions. He wanted to seal off the lawful mountain and annihilate them. Not a single one of them could escape. Was it because he, Fong Ping, was too weak? Or was it because they were too daring? They dared to capture anyone. This time, the attack was smoother than he had expected. Not only was the sneak attack successful, but he also preserved the other party's life. This was the biggest success. Maybe, this time, it's time to let you understand what it means to be afraid. Fong Ping's mentality emerged continuously. He did not care about anyone. He just sealed off the world. Annihilation. This was the end of the three realms. Elder, what happened? Destiny, what are you doing? Roars came one after another. The Luofu Mountain that had been peaceful for many years was in chaos. The Hall of Elders was suddenly destroyed, and the Elder's aura seemed to be coming from the meatball in Destiny's hand. Fong Ping ignored them. His mentality emerged faster and faster. Very soon, Fong Ping completed the seal. Of course, he could not seal off a 1,000-mile stretch of land, but at least the area within a few dozen miles was completely sealed off by him. Until now, someone landed near Fong Ping. Looking at Fong Ping, he said with a face full of shock and anger, "Destiny, where's the Elder?" Fong Ping's expression began to change. He tossed the meatball in his hand and smiled faintly. "Isn't he here? Also, call me King Ren." After saying that, Fong Ping ignored these extremely stunned and terrified Luofu mountain martial artists and walked toward the back of the hall. "King Ren, no! Elder Iran!" Everyone was panic-stricken. They were all afraid. That was Fong Ping. Fong Ping had actually killed his way to Luofu Mountain. Moreover, Ninth Elder had actually been crushed into a meatball by him without much movement. Now he was playing with him in his hand. It was too terrifying. The Luofu Mountain powerhouses fled in all directions. No one had the mood to fight with Fong Ping. The difference between a true god and the origin was in essence. Moreover, the true god-level Ninth Elder had been defeated so easily. Who would dare to be Fong Ping's enemy? Boom! There was a violent roar in all directions. Someone's path had been blocked by the barrier. At this moment, regardless of everything, they were bombarding the barrier frantically. On the other side, Fong Ping said faintly as he walked, "There's no need to look for that third elder. I killed him just now. Run. If you can't run, then die. It's okay if you can't break the barrier. Let someone self-destruct and blast the barrier open. I want to save someone now. I still need a minute. After a minute, if you can't run, then you can only die." No. Desperate roars resounded through the sky. But roars were useless. At this moment, a few rank 9 powerhouses suddenly attacked and grabbed the martial artists beside them. "Quick, blast the barrier." A few people roared. One of them grabbed a rank 7 martial artist. Under the other party's incredulous gaze, the other party's energy surged into his body, and he was instantly thrown toward the barrier. No. Despair. Indignation. But it was useless. A peak rank 9's energy surged into his body when he was not prepared. The consequences could be imagined. Boom! There was an explosion. Blood mist rose all over the sky. Someone roared angrily, "Grand Deacon, he's lying to us." Everyone joined forces and bombarded one place to open a passage. "Don't kill each other." 50 seconds left. At this moment, Fong Ping's ghostly voice rang again. "It'll be quick. In the blink of an eye. If you don't self-destruct, it's useless even if you join forces, unless you doubt the king of man's strength. Self-destruct. I'll leave you a way out." As he spoke, the initially trembling barrier in front of the people who were attacking the barrier together suddenly stabilized. Fong Ping said lightly, "Continue. My mentality is unlimited. Do as I say. I'll give you a chance. Otherwise, all of you can die." "Fight him." A powerhouse roared. As soon as he finished speaking, a saber gleam cut through the sky. The rank 9 who shouted had almost no resistance. Everything was cut off by this saber. Golden body mentality, origin with 1 slash, everything disappeared. "Why don't you try resisting?" Fong Ping smiled brightly. Opposite the door, Qinyinshi smiled too. "Your smile is so evil." "Evil?" Fong Ping laughed. "I'm very kind. I can't even bear to step on ants by the roadside." But those are human ants. As for non-humans, who cares? As he said that, Fong Ping looked at the formation trapping Qin Yunxi, frowning slightly. At this moment, the meatball suddenly said, "You can't break the formation. Otherwise, her vitality and spiritual consciousness will disappear completely. If you spare me, I can take the initiative to break the formation, let her vitality and spiritual consciousness return, and restore her rank 7 ability." Fong Ping laughed. As he laughed, he patted the meatball like he was playing basketball. He laughed and said, "I have to thank you. This woman, she's messing around. She's the same as Qin Fengqing, eating good food every day. Her energy is messed up. It's great now. I can't bear to burn her. If you burn her, it'll burn away the impurities. Why would I want those to return? In the past, I thought that if she can't bear the pain, don't burn her. That's not something a human should do." Now Fong Ping chuckled. "Thank you." Having said that, Fong Ping looked at Qin Yunxi and laughed. "I'll break the formation directly. It's okay to drop ranks. I'll be back soon. This is pure. I'll learn this formation later too. I'll burn them all. I'll let you guys suffer a little, lest your ranks become unstable." "Aha!" Qin Yunxi was very obedient. She laughed. "I'll listen to you. But your posture when playing is so ugly." Having said that, she watched Fong Ping break the formation. Qin Yunxi seized the time and said to Qin Yun, who was lying on the ground, "Did you see that? He's much better at bluffing than you guys. You guys are really stupid. Now that the sect is destroyed, are you happy? I forgot to thank you. You guys are the source of my happiness when I'm in pain. Watching you bunch of idiots acting, I almost couldn't take it anymore. In the end, you guys almost made me laugh. Thank you so much." At this moment, Qin Yun was not sure if he was in despair or really angry. His throat moved, and suddenly his mentality was extinguished. Fong Ping's action of breaking the formation slowed down. He glanced at Qin Yunxi, the corner of his mouth twitching. "Don't learn from the good. Learn from the bad. You're good. You killed a rank 9 with your mouth. Do you want to be the second Fong Ping?" Fong Ping was helpless. Qin Yunxi looked embarrassed. She said timidly, "Don't think too much. I'm a good girl. I was angered by them. I didn't expect them to be so narrow-minded. I angered myself to death." Fong Ping smashed the formation with a punch. Qin Yunxi staggered. Fong Ping wanted to help her up, but this woman suddenly stood up and kicked Elder Jiao, who was like a rubber ball, tens of meters away. "You caught me? I don't even feel like a rubber ball." Fong Ping sighed. "I don't think I need to comfort her anymore. Neo-martial artists. Awesome." Female martial artists were almost becoming devils. P.S. Third point later. Try to be before 12 o'clock. 9 Heavens Divine Emperor. Chapter 1049. On the other side, Qin Yunxi had sent Elder Jiao flying with a kick. On the other side, the people from Mount Luofu were completely scared out of their wits when they saw that the array was broken. "Kill them quickly." The chief executive who had killed a rank 7 martial artist earlier was now completely insane. Elder Jiao, a peerless martial artist, had been kicked around like a ball. Could they be Fong Ping's opponents? Impossible. Death was the only option. There was still hope to break the barrier by self-explosion, even if this hope was extremely slim. However, at this moment, everyone wanted to fight for it. The massacre continued. At this moment, a few rank 7 martial artists suddenly fell to the ground and knelt with a loud bang. The sound was really loud. "Lord Human King, spare us. Lord, we are innocent. Lord, we are willing to fight with the humans. Please have mercy." Tearful pleas for mercy were heard. One by one, the martial artists knelt and begged for mercy. They no longer had the arrogance of immortals. This was immortals. Fong Ping had seen the ugly faces of these immortals more than once. Today, it made him feel even more disgusted. Fong Ping reached out and grabbed Elder Jiao back into his hands, smiling faintly. "Aren't we exterminating demons and protecting the Tao?" Fong Ping looked at a rank 6 martial artist who had landed with the crowd. He was very young, looking less than 20 years old. At this moment, his face was pale, so scared that he was even a little wet, kneeling in front of Fong Ping. Fong Ping smiled faintly. When Elder Jiu opens the passage to the human world, aren't you going to the human world to exterminate demons and protect the Tao? Now, the righteous immortals are actually kneeling and begging for mercy to the devil? This is the righteous path. Fong Ping laughed out loud, laughing so hard that he did not know why. This was the righteous powerhouse. The devil in their eyes, even if it was just a woman, a young woman, had never begged for mercy when faced with a crisis of death. Even if she had suffered endless pain, she had never said a word of mercy. This was the devil, and this group of immortals who exterminated demons and protected the Tao in front of him were now showing their ugly side, kneeling and begging for mercy, incontinent. It was really too ridiculous. Fong Ping had a strong sense of mockery. At this moment, a woman in the crowd shouted, "Lord Human King, we have committed a crime." The ninth elder had captured Sir's Tao companion, and that was his idea. I knew nothing about it, and I have never killed any humans. If Sir wants to destroy Luofu Mountain, I am willing to leave Luofu Mountain and never be a disciple of Luofu Mountain again. Sir, please have mercy. My lord, a sovereign personage, the king of a race. Right now, there are still children on the Luofu Mountain. Could it be that my lord wants to kill them all? A woman cried out in grief, protecting a few tender children in her arms. Mount Luofu had new blood. Fong Ping closed his eyes. Just when everyone thought that there was hope, Fong Ping suddenly turned around and looked at Chen Yunxi, sighing softly. "I'm not ruthless enough." Hearing that, Chen Yunxi laughed softly. "As long as you're happy." "Sigh, I'm kind-hearted," Fong Ping mumbled. He stretched out his gigantic hand. In the faraway lake of perpetual destruction, a broken spirit body was caught in his hand. The next moment, Fong Ping covered the sky with one hand, sweeping in all directions. The palace was crushed into iron blocks and thrown into the storage space. Although the storage space was no longer displayed, it did not affect its functions. However, a storage space of 10,000 cubic meters was really too small. Expanding 1 cubic meter would require 500 million worth of wealth, 50,000 points. Fong Ping had not expanded his storage space for a long time, but at this moment he expanded it rapidly. 10,000 cubic meters, that was 500 million points of wealth consumed. This time, Fong Ping spent a total of 5 billion points of wealth to expand the space. You have to give to get what you want. 100,000 cubic meters. 100,000 cubic meters was actually not that big. At least, it was wishful thinking to want to store the entire heavenly palace. However, Fong Ping still had something else. At this moment, in his Sanjiao Gate, a palace floated out. Combat Heavenly Palace. Combat Heavenly Palace could not store living things, but it was not a problem for it to store dead things. Combat Heavenly Palace was not small. Fong Ping uprooted the palaces one by one, crumbled them into a ball, and stuffed them into the storage space in Combat Heavenly Palace. At this moment, the martial artists who were killing each other stopped attacking. One by one, they landed on the ground, kneeling. No one dared to speak. Fong Ping's words earlier gave them hope. Maybe Fong Ping would not attack again after taking away the things. The palaces were being uprooted continuously. The bricks and soil underground were all swept away. Some treasure vaults were opened by Fong Ping. Large amounts of high-ranked energy stones, energy liquids, various pills, and various weapons fell into Fong Ping's hands. Not only that, Fong Ping also discovered a huge fruit garden. Seeing the various energy fruits in the fruit garden, Fong Ping's eyes lit up. This was going to be transplanted to Earth. This was really good stuff. After all, Earth had recovered too late. At this moment, there were no mineral veins, and there were no energy fruits of this scale. The effects of energy fruits were better than energy liquids. The energy was mild, and each had its own characteristics. For example, the 100 honing fruit had a particularly obvious effect on martial artists at specific times. Fong Ping unfolded Combat Heavenly Palace. Combat Heavenly Palace could be transplanted with plants. As for animals, they could not be transplanted. According to Tsang Mao, monster plants were not considered living beings because they had no emperors. At this moment, a large number of fruit trees were transplanted by Fang Ping. Among them were a few rank 9 monster plants. However, at this moment, a few rank 9 monster plants were like dead things, motionless, allowing Fang Ping to put them in a combat heavenly palace, not daring to reveal a single aura. It was too scary. Fruit trees, energy liquids, eternal lake, immortal palace. Fang Ping was really putting on whatever he saw. Combat heavenly palace was full, his storage space was full, and he still had many storage rings. At this moment, they were also full. At this time, there were still a large number of palaces. Moreover, this was just the things that he had put in a few dozen li of land. Sky Palace, that was spread out for thousands of li. And Fang Ping was waiting. He had no intention of stopping. He was waiting for his wealth to increase. If there was no danger, his wealth would increase. This was also a basis to determine whether there were still powerhouses in this place. There were too many treasures, including Azure Imperial Palace. They were all taken away by Fang Ping. Those thrones were even embedded with desperate realm demon cores. These were real treasures. Wealth, 5 billion points vitality, 513,000 calories, 513,000 calories, mentality, 10,885 hertz, 10,885 hertz, can be cut, origin, vertical 520 meters, increase 52%, horizontal 3,100 meters, increase 31%, combat techniques, god-slaying sword techniques, plus 7%, void-piercing swordsmanship, plus 3%, manic explosion saber, plus 1%, combat technique combination deduction, 1 million points / time origin energy conversion, 100,000 points / 1 cloud energy shield, 1 point / minute, plus, aura simulation, 10 points / minute plus, origin. Detailed analysis, 10 to 100 million points / time strength control, 80% limit outburst, 779,760 cal / 974,700 cal at this moment. Fang Ping was staring at the data. After spending 5 billion to expand the storage space to 100,000 cubic meters, Fang Ping began to wait. At this moment, he dared not go to other places to snatch. He was really afraid that if his wealth broke through 100 billion at once, if he were to level up again, he would be done for. The current him did not have time to level up. Other than looking at his wealth, Fang Ping was also looking at his strength control, revealing a faint smile. 80%. This time he actually increased his strength control by about 5%. Maximum vitality was above 970,000 calories. Limit outburst was actually as high as about 780,000 calories. 780,000 calories. It was almost the limit of a weak Paragon's strength. Those weak Paragon's strength control was not too high. Around 70% was not surprising. Fang Ping did not even take into account the divine weapon. If he did, it should be 800,000 calories limit outburst. This meant that at this moment, even if Fang Ping encountered a weak Paragon head-on, he also had the confidence to kill the other party without using surprise attacks. Of course, the premise was that the other party was a little stupid. If they were not stupid, they would run even if they were no match for him. This was inevitable. Close to 1 million cal vitality. At this moment, Fang Ping, who had only walked 500 meters on Origin Path, was already close to 1 million cal limit. Based on the weak Paragon's calculations, starting from 200,000 calories, without any other body honing in between, walking 1,000 meters would increase the vitality limit by 10,000 calories. Walking 3,000 meters would increase the vitality by 20,000 calories. That would be 220,000 calories. An increase of 2 times, vitality would reach 484,000 calories, about 970,000 calories vitality of a rank 9. In this way, the current Fang Ping was comparable to a genuine powerhouse who had walked 3,000 meters on Origin Path. The premise was that the other party had at least 80% strength control, and he had a divine weapon. Otherwise, Fang Ping could totally increase his stage, and there was not much difference between him and a paragon who had walked 4,000 meters on Origin Path. Turns out, I'm so powerful now. Fong Ping smiled faintly, sighing with emotion. The moment he looked at the data, his wealth suddenly skyrocketed. 10 billion, 20 billion, 30 billion. Fong Ping had moved Mount Luofu, one of the 10 big grotto heavens. It increased all the way to about 70 billion before stopping. It was the biggest gain in history, a gain close to 700 trillion. Yes, 700 trillion. It was equivalent to 700 paragons' holy fruits. Sky elm fruits were often used by Fong Ping as a price comparison now. A gain that was beyond imagination. Moreover, he had not finished cleaning up. At this moment, Fong Ping was not in a hurry to clean up the spoils of war. He had to spend them. He could not let his wealth break 100 billion at this time, or else it would be troublesome. 45 billion points of wealth were consumed in an instant. The storage space this time expanded shockingly. 1 million cubic meters. In terms of size, it was very big. In terms of size, it was actually a cube with a length, width, and height of 100 meters. However, a cube with a length, width, and height of 100 meters could easily store a few 30-story buildings. Back then, Fong Ping wanted to expand the storage space to store rank 9 monster plants, but rank 9 monster plants were actually not this big. Even if they were complete and enlarged to the extreme, they would not be this big. If they were chopped up, they would be even smaller. Very quickly, his wealth dropped to about 26 billion points. However, Fong Ping was not worried at all. He had not finished robbing Mount Luofu. He had really underestimated the boundaries back then. In the Xuanda Grotto Heaven, he thought that even if he robbed a territory, his wealth would only be about 10 billion points. Only now did he realize that it was almost 100 billion points. Fong Ping looked at the people kneeling in front of him and said lightly, "Hand over your storage rings, weapons, and everything on you." "Sir." A rank 8 martial artist had just opened his mouth when Fong Ping's large hand pressed down, instantly crushing the other party into minced meat. 3. Fong Ping did not say anything else and directly reported the number. Right at this moment, these people handed over their things one after another. Fong Ping sneered. Chen Yunxi also wore a smile on her face. This was a god. It was really disgusting. Fong Ping waved his large hand and kept the things away again. His wealth increased slightly, not much, just 1 billion points. There were so many people in the huge Mount Luofu, and there were close to 100 high-ranked ones, but there were only 10 trillion treasures. Fong Ping was a little disappointed. It seemed like the wealth below the peak of Mount Luofu was limited. His wealth had reached 27 billion points. Right at this moment, Fong Ping hugged Chen Yunxi, leaped into the air, and said with a smile, "Go catch them. There are still people who are not here within the boundary of 1,000 miles." As he said that, Fong Ping leaped into the air and disappeared in the blink of an eye. As soon as he disappeared, the people kneeling on the ground looked at each other. Someone quickly transmitted his voice. "What should we do? Will this devil really let us go? Head Deacon, why don't we break the barrier now and escape together?" "No, don't drag us into this." At this moment, someone shouted loudly, his voice incomparably loud, "Lord Human King, someone is conspiring to escape. We are not involved." As soon as these words came out, there was silence everywhere. This was human nature. No, perhaps this was a mortal nature. Some people wanted to escape, but some people did not want to be implicated and shouted directly. On the other side, Fong Ping's voice came, "Whoever wants to escape, kill him. Killing is meritorious." The headquarters also wants to watch a show. How to watch it? As he spoke, figures descended from the sky one by one. The people scattered all over the Luofu Immortal Palace were thrown over. There were more and more people. At this moment, everyone was incomparably quiet, trembling with fear, kneeling on the ground. A few people who had just been thrown over wanted to escape, but they were quickly killed by the martial artists in all directions. Not only the people in the heavenly palace, but the outer sect disciples below, the demons, and even some demons outside the boundary wall were quickly captured. A few minutes later, Fong Ping appeared here once again. At this moment, in other areas, All the palaces had disappeared. Fong Ping's wealth increased again. 40 billion points. The core was here, the other places were not too important. Even so, it still increased his wealth by 13 billion points. After calculating, the increase in wealth this time was more than 80 billion points. And this was the reward of destroying Luofu Mountain. On the huge ruins, there were some people and some demons kneeling densely. There were nearly 1,000 people and hundreds of demons. This was all the people and demons of Luofu Mountain. As for Fong Ping, he was playing with some sculptures in his hands. The originally huge sculptures were compressed by him into glass balls. 7. These sculptures were made by the powerhouses above the peak of Luofu Mountain by dividing their mentality, similar to Life Monarch and the others representing life and death. At this moment, 7 were intact. They represented Luofu Mountain's 12 elders, 1 sect leader, and there were still 7 people alive. Many. However, at this moment, the remnants of their mentality were with Fong Ping. In fact, there were only 5 people alive, and these 5 people, Fong Ping suddenly saw the name of the Shun family's patriarch. Luofu Mountain, 12th elder. Fong Ping smiled. Shun Haoyan was not dead. There was also one in Star Town, but no one dared to look at Star Town now, not even Fong Ping. At this moment, seeing Shun Haoyan's sculpture here, Fong Ping was in a good mood. It was not surprising that Shun Haoyan's sculpture was here. He was Venerable the Arch-Green Essence's disciple and also an elder of Luofu Mountain, the last one. When he walked out of Luofu Mountain that year, this would definitely be left behind. Now that he saw that he was not dead, Fong Ping was really in a good mood. Other than Shun Haoyan, there were still 4 powerhouses alive from Luofu Mountain, 1 Emperor level and 3 Peak level. This was probably all the people who entered the Celestial Cemetery. Luofu Mountain, which has been passed down for thousands of years, didn't die many people in the North-South War. What a pity, it's destroyed today. Fong Ping laughed, looked at everyone kneeling below, and said with a smile, "Come, shout that Venerable the Arch-Green Essence is dog sh*t." Fong Ping raised the canopy. The canopy had now been modified by humans to have its own recording function. It was LV Zhun's masterpiece. This was Fong Ping's first time using it. He felt that it should be very interesting. He wanted to take it and play it in the human world, so that humans could see these people's faces clearly. He wanted to show it to Venerable the Arch-Green Essence, if he was not dead. He wanted to show him what kind of trash his Luofu Mountain was. At this moment, everyone below looked at each other. Very soon, someone said hesitantly, "Sir, bang. Fragments. Mincemeat." Hence, after a moment of silence, everyone shouted, "Green Essence is dog sh*t." Continue to curse. Curse all the peak level experts. Curse as much as you can. Haha. I want to let people see how disgusting you immortals are when you curse people. Your masters, your sect leaders, your elders. Ha! This is the blessed grotto heaven. This is the immortals. Among the people below, some were ashamed, but some did not care at all, quickly cursing. All kinds of curses sounded. It was a mess. As Fong Ping smiled, his expression turned cold. Very soon, he recovered his smile, looked at Qin Yunxi, and said with a smile, "Do you think such a group of people could be a match for humans? We human martial artists are greedy for life and afraid of death. But is there a sect like this? Are all of them dogs? Such a big sect. All of them. Not one. All of them. How ridiculous." Qin Yunxi held his arm, as if she was a little weak, leaning on his arm. Hearing that, she laughed and said, "Isn't this good? The more incompetent and useless the enemy is, the better the lives of humans will be." "Makes sense." Fong Ping laughed and said, "Let's go. If we see too many of these people, our eyes will get dirty." After saying that, Fong Ping disappeared. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief, not daring to stop cursing, still cursing. After a while, everyone looked at each other, and all heaved a huge sigh of relief. Narrowly escaped death. However, at this moment, a powerful mentality swept in all directions. Everyone below the high rank died. Just as the high ranks and above were about to escape, a Chongdao sliced through the air, like cutting melons and vegetables, killing dozens of people in an instant. Fong Ping, you shameless villain, you said you would spare us. Lord King, spare us. No, don't kill me. I'm going to achieve Dao soon. Spare me, Lord. Ah! Screams were heard one after another. At the same time, the broken sky palace fell. There was a rumble. The next moment, the sky palace fell, emitting a roar. However, the boundary was a place separated from the world. The demons on the periphery were all captured inside. Right now, even if there was a sound, it could not be heard across the forbidden sea. Fong Ping, who was already far away, laughed and said, "What a pity. I wanted to set off fireworks, but I was afraid of being discovered. No matter in the three major boundaries, this is only the first. The third, I must set off fireworks. Let the three realms see the brilliance of fireworks." Mount Luofu was destroyed. Sect annihilation. Fong Ping did not think about those young people, those children. He was the leader of the human race, not the leader of the other races. Since those people wanted to eliminate demons and defend the Tao, the demon, would be a real demon for once. Did I say I would spare you? I don't think so. Fong Ping pinched a meatball in his hand, smiled playfully, and said, "Ninth Elder, how was the show? Did you like it?" Silence. "You'll see even more. The three realms want to kill the human race. I thought about it. Maybe they think that I, Fong Ping, am not a demon enough." King Wu is a demon enough, but King Wu is petty. He only kills individual powerhouses, things like annihilating a sect. He doesn't do much. I thought about it. Since he's not a demon enough, then I'll be a little more demon. Maybe it'll be better. Fong Ping smiled brightly, turned his head to look at Chen Yunxi, smiled and asked, "Are you afraid?" "No." Chen Yunxi's smile was also extremely bright. "I like to see you become a demon. Your demon is a good demon." "Ha!" Fong Ping laughed. "Good demon? Good words. Then watch me become a demon. Go to Earth and watch. You're too weak, not qualified to be a demon with me." As Fong Ping finished speaking, he tossed Chen Yunxi far away. There a figure was floating in the air. The figure looked at Fong Ping, not saying a word. Fong Ping smiled and said, "I'm old. I have to accept my fate. If you do this kind of thing sneakily next time, don't blame me for expelling your human status." Human status? Fong Ping created a new term. In the distance, Chen Yaoding did not say a word either. "You can say whatever you want." Chen Yunxi, who was floating in the air, waved at Fong Ping, her smile still as bright as a flower. "Go kill them and make them tremble. I'll go to Magic City to warm up the wine for you. Good wine, good wine. I'll wait for you to come back to celebrate. Don't let the wine get cold. You're so long-winded. Spring is here. Why are you drinking warm wine? Go back quickly, or else when I go back, you'll still be on your way." Fong Ping laughed, his figure disappearing instantly. Destroying Mount Luofu was smoother than expected. Chen Yunxi's realm dropped to rank 5, unable to manifest her Sanjiao Gate. But Fong Ping was not in a hurry. If this was not a problem, what was the realm? People were fine. They would only improve further. What a pity that I didn't set off fireworks. I'm not feeling good. Today, I must set off fireworks. Let the three realms see the splendor of fireworks. Fong Ping muttered in a low voice. It seemed like people had forgotten his fireworks skills. In the distance, Chen Yunxi's smile was so bright that it was hard to feel sad. Chen Yaoding, who was originally heartbroken, did not know whether to laugh or cry at this moment. After a long time, he sighed softly. He's the leader of humanity, humanity's only hope. Child, stop giving him trouble. Stop saying that you like him in front of others. Stop thinking about getting married and having children. He doesn't need to be dragged down. Humanity can't have an unquestionable sword either. I'd rather he ignore you than go crazy for you. Grandpa, I'm sorry. No, Grandpa, you're right. Chen Yunxi chuckled. I won't let him become unquestionable sword. I am just an admirer of the king of humanity. One of thousands of admirers. I'll wait until the day humanity wins. Grandpa, Can you wait with Yinshi? Okay. Chun Yaoting smiled with tears in his eyes. He did not know if he should be happy or sad. Chun Yinshi was still smiling like a flower. I don't want to be the wife of the king of humanity. I want to be the wife of the king of the three realms. I'll wait until that day comes. If I can't wait, then humanity has already failed. There's no need to think about these anymore. Chapter 1050. Behu Catacombs. Imperial Sea Mountain. Wu Bao led the Destiny Royal Court people, still standing outside Imperial Sea Mountain. Opposite Imperial Sea Mountain, there was a battle going on. A large-scale battle. It was a battle between armies, not a battle between experts. The human army and the Catacombs foreign army were fighting each other, their battle cries piercing the sky. Opposite, Wu Quishan's expression was cold. He did not say a word, watching the battle in the distance. Beside him, Li Wuji was a little uncomfortable. After a while, he said telepathically, "Minister Wu, why don't we just kill our way out? These weaklings can't change anything." Big picture? Wu Quishan's voice was calm. He said lightly, "Humans are strong. This is the big picture. We don't need individuals to be strong. Humans need to be strong as a whole." It was a simple sentence, but it was extremely cruel. There were close to 40,000 people in the Wuan army. On the other hand, MCMAU and 1st Military School had formed a team of 3,000 people. In addition to some other martial artists, this time, the martial artist army he had brought with him from North Lake was as high as 50,000 people. Did he expect these people to change the big picture? No. It was only to give these people a chance to participate in the battle. Powerhouses would only show their talent, explode their foundation, and survive in desperate situations. Only through continuous battles could the young martial artists officially step onto the stage. 50,000 people. Wu Quishan was even prepared to sacrifice some of them. The remaining people, a little stronger, a little stronger. This was the big picture. Humans did not rely on one or two people to support them. Martial kings were too tired. Sovereign personages were too tired. Everyone was too tired, too fatigued. Everyone had to fight. Fight for their lives, fight for power. Moreover, they could also buy time to ensure that Fong Ping could successfully annihilate Mount Luofu. Since Wu Bao and the others did not take the initiative to attack, Wu Quishan did not mind training at this time. Blindly relying on the protection of powerhouses, humans could never rely on themselves to become strong. Among the human powerhouses who were famous today, no one became a powerhouse purely by relying on the protection and support of powerhouses, including Fong Ping. The battles and dangers that Fong Ping had experienced in the past 3 years were incomparable to countless older powerhouses. Beside him, Yu Wuhua watched the killing army, watching people fall one after another. Wu Quishan and the others did not move, and could not help but sigh and lament. Humans were really scary. When it was time to protect, they would risk their lives. When the strong attacked the weak, even if they were no match for the strong, they would fight on the front lines and never retreat. When it was not their duty to protect, even when they saw those soldiers dying in battle, they were indifferent and unmoved. They had a good grasp of propriety. Perhaps it was cruel, but the effect was remarkable. Humans grew stronger in battle. If this army of 50,000 cultivators did not die this time and recovered from their injuries, then they would all improve and become the elites of the human race. This was similar to Wu Quishan's Gu rearing plan. It was similar but different. Back then, it all depended on luck. But now, there was an expert holding the line, ensuring absolute fairness. The high-ranked powerhouses of the catacombs had all been chased to the border of Mount Royal Sea by the combined forces of humans. This was the opportunity that the human experts had fought for them. And this scene was also happening in the Donglin catacombs. Over at Eastern Woods, a large number of troops were fighting as well. After saying a few words, Wu Quishan turned his head and looked at Universe Bao and the others several dozen miles away. He said in a calm voice, "Ji Yao, since your Destiny Royal Court is here, isn't it boring to just sit and watch the show? You don't want too many people to die, and we don't want to start a war like a swarm of bees." My human ancestors liked to fight generals on the battlefield. Why don't we have a duel? Battle of generals at the front lines. This rarely happened during a battle between two armies. The catacombs preferred to suppress humans with the number of powerhouses. Humans, on the other hand, were used to fighting one against two, or even three or more. And now, Wu Quishan actually proposed a battle of generals. Wu Quishan chuckled. Is Destiny Royal Court afraid? If you're afraid, then come at me together. Since both sides have met here, it's impossible to hope that no one will die. When we humans send out our troops, there will be blood. War is the consumption of resources. Humans will not retreat until blood is shed. Ji Yao's expression was cold as she looked at him coldly. Then, she suddenly snorted and said, General Duel? Snake King, how do you want to fight? 7th pin against 7th pin, 8th pin against 8th pin, 9th pin against 9th pin. Both sides entered the Great Canyon to fight. The side that died would continue to send people. Simple rules. The others are not allowed to attack. If they attack, then it'll be an all-out war. Wu Quishan smiled. Do you dare? Ji Yao sneered. Why not? How many high-ranked martial artists are there in your land of rebirth? Even if there are 10 of them for one of you, your land of rebirth will still be destroyed. Having said that, Ji Yao said coldly, since you want a battle of generals, I also want to watch a big show. Someone sound the drums and cheer. The royal court is unrivaled in God's land. Don't tell me they don't even have the courage to fight people of the same rank. Beside her, Universe Bao frowned slightly, but he did not refuse. He also wanted to see the level of the land of rebirth martial artists. To be honest, other than the absolute peak martial artists, the rest of the restricted area martial artists did not fight many of the reborn martial artists. Actually, there were quite a few, but almost all of them died. It would be easier to make arrangements after getting a feel of the reborn martial artist's strength. Tang Feng, you go. Show the young people how to kill. Yes, sir. Tang Feng roared. He quickly used flight step and yelled across the air, Human Tang Feng, MCMU instructor, rank 8 first stage. Who dares to fight? Opposite him, Universe Bao glanced at Tang Feng and nodded to an armored powerhouse under his command. Soon, a person flew out from the opposite side, yelling, Destiny Royal Court, Tribute Hall Bao Chong, rank 3 venerable. Rank 3 is also trash. Tang Feng was not the least bit afraid. He quickly rushed into the Grand Canyon passageway. The passageway was narrow. At least for a rank 8 martial artist, there was not much space to maneuver. However, this also made it easier to determine life and death. The stronger the powerhouse, the smaller the place they fought, the easier it was to see blood and determine life and death. Both parties rushed into the Grand Canyon at the same time. At this moment, the Grand Canyon's barrier had already been opened by both parties, leading to the opposite side. In the blink of an eye, both of them unleashed their golden bodies, fighting in the Grand Canyon passageway. Tang Feng was like a lion, unusually fierce. Although his realm was not as high as the other parties, he was more brutal and brave when he fought. His iron fists were not golden, but blood-red. Every punch was filled with the stench of blood, making people nauseous. Mad Lion Tang Feng. Even if he had just entered rank 8, he was still incomparably brave. Under the watchful eyes of the powerhouses on both sides exchanged hundreds of moves in an instant. At this time, the other party's sword pierced through Tang Feng's left eye, directly from the eye socket to the back of his head. Yu Wuhua and the others frowned slightly. A rank 8 first refinement versus a 3rd refinement. The difference was not small. However, at this time, Tang Feng was extremely calm and collected, as if the one who was pierced was not him. Just when the other party thought that victory was in his grasp, he grinned, punched, and the void shook. Bang! A loud sound was heard. Tang Feng's punch had pierced through the other party's chest. The other party was about to pull out his sword and retreat, but at this time, the long sword suddenly stopped. Blood spurted out from Tang Feng's eyes, but the back of his head was stuck to the other party's long sword. In the blink of an eye, Tang Feng roared and punched again, smashing the other party's head. At this time, The powerhouses under Universe Bao's command were ready to make a move. Wu Quishan said lightly, "This is only the first battle. You guys can't wait to fight the strong already? Trash indeed." Universe Bao raised his hand, stopping the powerhouses under his command from helping. His eyes were cold, but his heart was slightly shaken. It was said that there were demons in the world. Sure enough, there really were demons. MCMU's Tang Feng, a rank 8 first refinement martial artist, fought extremely crazily. He was not afraid of death, not afraid of strong enemies, and his momentum was invincible. Under the watchful eyes of the powerhouses on both sides, Tang Feng was incomparably crazy. Punches after punches. Under the other party's counterattack, half of his head was almost smashed, but he forcefully blasted the other party's golden body into pieces. The last punch smashed the other party's mentality into smithereens. Bao Chong was dead. A third refinement versus a first refinement. After exchanging more than 300 moves, Tang Feng killed the strong enemy at the cost of half of his head being smashed. Seeing this, Wu Quishan laughed heartily, his mentality erupting instantly. Tang Feng of the human race, rank 8 first refinement, killed a rank 8 third refinement catacomb's strong enemy. Congratulations! Congratulations to Grandmaster Tang. In the distance, tens of thousands of troops roared at the same time. In an instant, their momentum skyrocketed. The initially exhausted people became incomparably valiant at this moment. One after another, they erupted. At this moment, the two armies that were facing each other were instantly killed by the humans. Screams were endless. In the North Lake catacombs, countless foreign troops were killed in an instant. Blood dyed the ground red. Fighting generals in front of the battlefield, defeating the strong as the weak, killing the strong. This was the greatest morale booster. Sometimes, fighting spirit was more important than strength. Morale was more important than resources. In the canyon, Tang Feng laughed heartily and shouted, "Tang Feng of the human race, fight again." Universe Bao's expression was ugly, his brows slightly furrowed. Beside him, someone spoke telepathically, "Temple Master, why don't we send a peak venerable to kill Tang Feng?" Universe Bao frowned and shouted telepathically, "Trash. Tang Feng has only just entered the venerable realm. If a peak venerable were to attack, the land of rebirth might not intervene. Even if they don't, a peak venerable killing a rank 1 would be a disgrace." Among the royal court powerhouses, who still has the confidence to fight again? Fighting generals. If they fought well, everyone's momentum would be unparalleled in the upcoming battle. However, if they were defeated, their morale would be greatly affected. This was also the first time Universe Bao witnessed a battle between a rebirth martial artist and someone of the same rank. Brutal, cold, ruthless to the enemy, and even more ruthless to themselves. No wonder even with so many true kings around, they did not dare to recklessly fight the other party. It was fine if there were only 1 or 2 such ruthless people, but everyone in the land of rebirth was the same. There had never been a moment when Universe Bao felt that the land of rebirth was so scary and dangerous. He did not know if it was a good or bad thing for the true kings of the divine land of rebirth to be enemies with the land of rebirth. As for him, his main goal was to seize power. As for going all out against the land of rebirth, he had no such intention. Continue. He's only a rank 1. He was already injured earlier. Go again. At Universe Bao's command, another rank 3 powerhouse attacked. Both of them exchanged blows in an instant. This time, the other party was more vigilant and decisive. When they fought, it was also incomparably tragic. 5 minutes later, Tang Feng forcefully destroyed the other party's golden body with a slight advantage. He was also severely injured. Under Wu Quishan's signal, he quickly retreated. Tang Feng won the second battle again. "Lu Fengru, you fight." The next moment, Wu Quishan looked at Lu Fengru. His voice was stern, without a hint of bias. Lu Fengru did not say a word. She quickly rushed out and shouted, "Human Lu Fengru, MCMU instructor, rank 8 first stage. Trash, come at me." On the other side, another rank 8 third stage attacked. In the catacombs, the powerhouses were also becoming more cautious and serious. When they fought, they were also more ruthless and decisive. They were also growing. Previously, most of them had not fought with the rebirth martial artists, so they did not know the situation in the land of rebirth. Now, after 2 battles, 2 deaths, these people were even more cautious now. Moreover, many people also knew that Lu Fengru was the Snake King's wife. The Snake King had even sent his wife into battle. Now, even the catacombs felt that if they were to fight with the Snake King and the others, even if they lost, they should at least lose with some dignity. Moreover, if they won and killed the Snake King's wife, it would be a great victory for the divine land. Universe Bao and the others were even more restless, staring at Wu Quishan and the others. Once these people attacked, they would be at a disadvantage in terms of morale. Now, he wanted to see if the Snake King would attack when Lu Fengru was in danger. In the crowd, Lu Polu telepathically said, "Lil Wu, why did you let Fengru fight?" After all, Lu Fengru had just entered rank 8. Now that she was facing an experienced rank 8 third-stage martial artist, she was surrounded by danger. If this went on, she might be killed by the other party. Of course, there was still hope of escaping. However, in the war between the 2 armies, Wu Quishan was the one who suggested the frontline battle. If Lu Fengru escaped and the catacombs spread the news, the human side's morale would definitely plummet. Lu Polu was helpless. Why send Lu Fengru into battle? There were still many powerhouses here, all of whom could fight. Wu Quishan said calmly, "If my wife doesn't fight, how can I let others die? If my wife doesn't fight, how can the catacombs believe that we humans are sincere and willing to fight? Everyone just watch. It's a good thing if we win, but if we lose, we're not allowed to attack." Nonsense. If Fong Ping finds out, Wu Quishan said coldly, "I'm the commander-in-chief of the battle at Beihu. Here, I call the shots." Only if Lu Fengru went into battle would this battle of generals continue. Otherwise, if 2 catacombs powerhouses were killed consecutively, this battle might end very quickly. He wanted to continue delaying. Now, the longer he delayed here, the longer Fong Ping's action would take. Otherwise, if a great battle broke out now, once he was entangled, Fong Ping would not be successful at Mount Luofu. If the battle ended quickly, Fong Ping might be exposed, and the entire plan would fail. Over at Beihu's Void Mausoleum Grotto Heaven, their powerhouses might also be watching the battle in secret, making them focus their attention on him, ignoring the other parties. This was also his goal. Looking at Lu Fengru bleeding in the Grand Canyon, Wu Quishan's gaze was cold, but deep in his eyes, there were glistening tears. "Although I don't want to, this is the way of the world. Fengru, you can do it. Everyone in the human race wants to fight. You're no exception. In the past, you were crazy for your daughter. You could ignore everything. But now, you want to fight. You've taken too many benefits. You've obtained too many opportunities from Fong Ping, from rank 6 to rank 8, and you still don't want to fight. As Fong Ping's teacher, if you don't take the lead, who will trust Fong Ping? Others can be afraid to fight, but you can't. The king's teacher should not and must not be afraid to fight. Even if he died in battle, it was to prove to the human race that the king's close friends also dared to die. No exception. You're not Fong Yuan. You're a rank 8 powerhouse." At this moment, many people exclaimed in a low voice. Half of Lu Fengru's body was smashed by the other party's palm. Wu Quishan moved his feet, clenching his fists tightly, but he suppressed the throbbing, forcibly stopping in his tracks. At this moment, a phoenix's cry was heard. In the void, a fiery red phoenix floated in the air, flames erupting. The powerhouse who was about to smash Lu Fengru's head screamed in pain. His mentality burned. Burning mentality, it was too painful. This scream also made the other party's movements stagnate. At this moment, Lu Fengru roared angrily, punching out with an invincible fist force. Invincible fist. Boom! A headless corpse fell to the ground, its mentality completely burned by the phoenix. Lu Fengru snorted coldly. Fong Ping doesn't want to learn my invincible fist. He always thinks that it's invincible in name, but in reality, he's useless. Let's see what else he has to say this time. Fong Ping despised the name Invincible Fist, unwilling to learn it. This time, Lu Fengru wanted to let him know that her invincible fist was truly invincible. At this moment, in the crowd, Fu Chanding took a step into the air, laughing loudly. Since the instructors are flaunting their prowess in front of the battlefield, this student will also show his incompetence. Human Fu Chanding, MCMU student, early stage rank 7, good friend of the Human King, who wants to kill me. Good friend of the Human King, MCMU student. At this moment, over at the catacombs, Universe Bao suddenly understood something. Today, those who fought seemed to be related to the Human King. What was Wu Quishan trying to do? Was he still going to fight? 3 rank 8 powerhouses had died in a row. Even he felt the pinch. However, if he killed the Human King's good friend, the Human King teacher, the land of rebirth's morale would definitely drop. However, at this moment, the royal court's morale was not as good as before. Universe Bao hesitated. However, Ji Yao said coldly, "Continue. Early stage commanders can't be killed, so the royal court might as well stop fighting. They will lose anyway. If you kill Fong Ping's friends and family, the entire land of rebirth's morale will drop. Killing one person means success." Soon in the crowd, an upper stage rank 7 martial artist charged out. The battle started again. Blood, energy, vitality. In the Grand Canyon, the battle was getting bloodier. Outside the Grand Canyon, the 50,000 human army was killing nonstop, their battle cries shaking the sky. Every time they won a battle in the Grand Canyon, their morale would soar. Congratulations resounded throughout the North Lake catacombs. Mad Lion Tang Feng, Wu Wudi, Little Gun King Fu Changding. These human powerhouses displayed the undefeatable might of the human race. Fighting above ranks, killing in battle. The more they fought, the braver they became. This was the human race. Among the 50,000 troops, during these battles, celestial bridges suddenly appeared, as well as other tangible objects. One by one, the rank 7 Grandmasters rose into the air after breaking through, heading straight for Mount Imperial Sea. High ranks should participate in battles between high ranks. When they broke through, the human race was undefeatable, invincible, and all-conquering. 100 years ago, the human race was in rags, with few martial artists struggling to reach this day. 100 years later, the human race was in the 3 realms. Even if the 3 realms were their enemy, they were not afraid. After 100 years of bloody battles, the human race would rise. Fight for a future. Fight to carve out a new world, while the humans were opening up new battlefields. In the fake sky grave, Zhang Tao, who was still being carried on Warlord's back, frowned. Warlord sensed it, panting tiredly. "I say, didn't you break out once and kill a true god? Why are you so dispirited again?" "Cut the crap." Zhang Tao rubbed his chin and asked curiously, "How long have we been in here?" "Less than a month. Be more specific." 23 days? Warlord could not remember. He roughly estimated, panting. "You slept with Li Zhu's wife? Why is he always chasing after you?" "Nonsense, his wife. I have to say, his wife is quite pretty." Zhang Tao laughed, then quickly coughed. "Don't talk nonsense. His wife was killed by Nan Yunhua back then. If you put it like that, it'll make it sound like Nan Yunhua killed her out of jealousy." Warlord rolled his eyes. "I was just saying it casually, but it's actually a bit of gossip." Zhang Tao ignored him. He looked at the space battlefield in front of him and said quickly, "Find a place to hide. I'm going to seclusion for a few days." "Seclusion?" Warlord said excitedly. "Are you going to recover from your injuries?" "Nope." Zhang Tao denied it. "What injuries?" His injuries seemed to be almost healed. What the hell was this? His mentality, which was about to be scrapped, had recently increased crazily. What did this kid Fong Ping do? According to his estimation, in this situation, the human strength had improved a lot. Other things aside, there might be dozens more rank 7s and many rank 8s and 9s. What was going on? How did the humans get so many powerhouses? Is this kid trying to hide it from me? He could have improved before, but when I became the boss, he refused to do it no matter what. After I leave, this kid must show off? Zhang Tao laughed bitterly. He knew he was overthinking. It might be related to Fong Ping's emperor path. But this kid had exceeded his expectations too much. He now suspected that after he left, would there be thousands more high ranks in the human race? My injuries are almost healed. I should find a time to integrate the 6 realms. 6 emperor-level powerhouses were willing to sacrifice everything for him to integrate. These days, his injuries were serious, and he had no chance to do it. Now, maybe there was a chance. As for the Heavenly King Zhen Wang mentioned, old Zhang was too lazy to care. His origin path was as Fong Ping guessed. It did not go far. Forget 100,000 meters, not even 50,000 meters. However, after integrating the 6 realms, there might be hope to cross 50,000 meters. Fong Ping did not know Zhang Tao's specific strength. Even when old Zhang had an outburst, it was difficult for him to estimate. But Zhang Tao knew clearly in his heart. After advancing from peak to peak of Refinement 8, the basic vitality was 260,000 calories. After walking 10,000 meters on the Great Path, the Emperor level would have an increase of 50,000 calories. After walking 9,000 meters, the increase was also 90,000 calories. At the Emperor level, his basic vitality was 400,000 calories. Now that he had walked 30,000 meters on the Great Path, the basic vitality would increase by 20,000 calories every 10,000 meters at the Emperor level. As for Zhang Tao, he had been continuing to hone his body. If he had not reached peak of Refinement 9, then there was room for improvement. It was just that it was very difficult. At this moment, his basic vitality was as high as 450,000 calories, horizontal 10,000 meters, increased by 100%. Vertical 30,000 meters, increased by 220%. Combat techniques, created by himself and most suitable for him, were stronger than Fong Ping's, increase as high as 8%. All in all, his maximum vitality was close to 2 million calories. However, his strength control was not high, a little stronger than Fong Ping, about 85%. Converted to rank 9, his limit was close to 4 million calories, just close to the saint level. According to the data Fong Ping had announced previously, from million calories to 5 million cal were saint level. Therefore, when Zhang Tao's outburst earlier, everyone thought that he had the strength comparable to a saint level. After integrating the 6 realms, the temporary outburst was even comparable to a top-notch powerhouse among the saint level. However, Zhang Tao, who had only walked 30,000 meters on the Great Path, knew his own situation. Even if he integrated the 6 realms, he could walk up to 50,000 meters at most. The basic increase was 40,000 calories. The increase was 20%. The limit was probably about 4 million calories, but it would not reach the strength of a Heavenly King. The reason why suppressing Heavenly King and the others thought so was based on the fact that Zhang Tao really walked 100,000 meters on the Great Path and had a huge increase in vitality. 100,000 meters on the Great Path, according to the previous pattern, could probably increase the basic vitality by 100,000 calories in one go. With the increase, of course, it would be much more. However, Zhang Tao knew in his heart that he did not have this opportunity. After the integration, he might only be a powerhouse among the saint level, and not even the top-notch kind. Whatever, let's integrate first. Zhang Tao did not care about this. When the Great Path reached 50,000 meters, it would be better than now. Even if he did not become a Heavenly King and became a powerhouse among the saint level, it would not be that easy for a Heavenly King to kill him. When I really walk 100,000 meters on the Great Path, I'll kill all of you one by one. Zhang Tao swore in his heart. They did not expect him to recover so quickly, did they? In terms of strength, he was no match for them. In terms of potential, all of you can just follow behind him and eat my farts. Chapter 1051. Old Wu and Beihu was furious. Old Zhang in the fake sky grave was furious. Earth Wisdom, who had left Dong Lin, frowned. Not here? The humans made such a big commotion this time, and they didn't come in? Earth Wisdom was puzzled. Based on her understanding of humans, human powerhouses would come in to fight in this kind of thing. But now, not only were Wang Jinyang and the rest not here, Li Changsheng, who was known as the first Rang 9, was also not here. Where did these people go? The divine sex branch in the human world has been destroyed. It's difficult to send messages now. Earth Wisdom felt a little helpless. Otherwise, the divine sect would be able to quickly receive information about these famous people in the human world. Are they just waiting in the human world, waiting for the results of the battle? Battles had already begun in the southern territories. But even in some territories where some humans were defeated by the catacombs, those people did not come to help. This time, Earth Wisdom was really surprised. Fortunately, the surprise did not last long. Soon, a crystal bead in Earth Wisdom's arms trembled slightly. In the next moment, a voice came from the crystal bead. "Sir, there's news from the human world's believers. Fong Ping is still in Magic City, guarding everywhere. The Heavenly Legion and the Department of Investigation are guarding everywhere in Sino Nation." Fong Ping really didn't leave? He didn't leave? Where are Longevity Sword and the rest? Longevity Sword and the rest seem to have gone to the 24th Southern Territory to patrol. What about Wang Jinyang and the rest? They seem to have gone with them. Earth Wisdom's eyes flashed with joy. They came together. 24th Southern Territory. Good. The believers who sent the message will be rewarded handsomely. Earth Wisdom was in a good mood. It was not easy for them to still send an important message when the branch was destroyed. Keep an eye on them for me. Once they come out of the 24th Southern Territory, inform me immediately. The Donglin catacombs belong to the 8th Southern Territories. She could not go through Earth. If she went through the catacombs, it would be 16 territories away, almost 200,000 li away. Even if she was powerful, she needed some time. She was worried that they would run away again. Don't worry, sir. Once there's news, I will inform you immediately. The crystal ball was also an innovation of the evil sect. Back then, the evil sect's Grand Pope used this item to contact all parties. The appearance of the sky screen actually came from the crystal ball. The evil cult had arranged for people to be stationed in the outer realm. If anyone from Earth were to enter, they would be able to contact them quickly and relay the news through them. Dihui didn't say much and quickly rushed toward the 24 southern regions. Dihui rushed from the 8 southern regions to the 24th regions. Fong Ping, on the other hand, did not have to go through so much trouble. At this moment, Fong Ping had once again transformed into CLA, leaving the catacombs in the blink of an eye. Nanmen was quite a distance away from Jingnan, but it was much faster to travel on Earth. Fong Ping was in a hurry. Of course, he had to cross the Earth. In the end, not long after exiting the catacombs, Fong Ping, who was still flying through the air at high speed, suddenly stopped moving. In a city below, many people were gathered in the huge, open-air plaza. In the middle of the square, a huge screen was facing a person. The leader of the humans, Fong Ping. Yes, Fong Ping. At this moment, Fong Ping was incomparably awe-inspiring. He said calmly, "Humans must win every war. Now that some catacombs have sent urgent reports, there is no need for everyone to panic. Headquarters has already sealed off a few passageways and evacuated the civilians in the passageways. The catacombs are struggling on their deathbed. We've already won in the North Lake and Donglin catacombs. We've killed countless catacombs powerhouses. They want to cause panic among humans. Wishful thinking. The catacombs won't be able to break the invincible heaven and earth ceiling and locking down invincible defense shroud in a short time. After we've eliminated the catacombs powerhouses in North Lake and Donglin, we'll be able to quell the chaos everywhere." On the screen, Fong Ping was comforting the civilians. Just as Fong Ping exited the catacombs, some catacombs had already sent urgent reports. Nowadays, there were many civilians who practiced martial arts. There were many martial artists. News spread quickly too. The evil sects received news from these people. Fong Ping had made his move. He personally went to the 3 major catacombs, sealed off the passageways, and evacuated the defensive forces in the catacombs. Now the 3 catacombs have been sealed off. Seizing this opportunity, Fong Ping started a live broadcast and began to comfort the civilians. The effect was obviously not bad. In the plaza, although the civilians did not really understand these things, they were cheering one after another. Minister Fong is invincible. Humans are invincible. Humans will definitely win. Humans had once again gained the upper hand in the 2 major catacombs. Although the other catacombs were dangerous, for Minister Fong, all the dangers were not dangerous. On the television, Fong Ping was talking and eating something. Those with sharp eyes seemed to have noticed what he was eating and were a little surprised. However, there was no rule that said Minister Fong could not eat dried fish. Minister Fong's personal taste problem did not need to be too deep into it. Fong Ping stopped. Seeing this, he breathed a sigh of relief. Big Cat was still reliable. As for eating something, he did not care too much. He did not expect Big Cat to make a move at this time. It even learned to comfort the civilians. It did better than he expected. Fong Ping was just about to leave. The next moment, he stopped again. On the television, Old Cat felt that it had done its job and even helped the scammer to comfort the people. Now it was time to pay back. After a pause, Old Cat pretended to be dignified and said, "Also, the seal and lock invincible defense barrier I used was passed on to me by a human friend, Old Cat. In recognition of Old Cat's contribution to humans, I have decided to provide Old Cat with 10,000 tons of cat food every month for free." As soon as this was said, everyone was stunned. Providing cat food? There was such a thing. However, in the next moment, everyone stopped paying attention. It was just cat food. Although 10,000 tons was a lot, cat food was a small matter. Moreover, this was done by the government. It was not their business. In the air, the corner of Fong Ping's mouth twitched. This cat, what was it doing? Was it necessary? It made it sound like I starved it to death. 10,000 tons of cat food? Could it finish it? Fong Ping did not know whether to laugh or cry about Old Cat promising cat food in front of the public, but he did not care too much. Old Cat had indeed contributed a lot to humans. From what it said, it had even blocked a few passageways this time. This was also a great cover for him. Blocking the passageways for a while was not too difficult. Old Zhang and the others had done it before, using mentality to block the passageways. However, it did not last long and needed to be replenished in time. Fong Ping could do this too, but it would only last for a short time. It was definitely not as strong as Old Cat. Since Old Cat had done it, it saved Fong Ping the trouble. Fong Ping took a look and did not stay any longer. He left quickly. What Fong Ping did not know was that Old Cat did not only talk about the 10,000 tons of cat food. Next, the cat sighed in a roundabout way for a while. It still owed the cat 1 million tons of cat food. When the battle was over, all the companies that produced cat food had to work overtime to pay off the cat's debt. Of course, Fong Ping was not in the mood to care about this. Regardless of whether it was 10,000 tons or 1,000,000 tons, he would pay if he had it. If he didn't, he would renege on his debt. It was just cat food. It was nothing. It could only be said that this cat had a big appetite. Fong Ping arrived at the catacombs of southern Fujian in no time. Southern Fujian was where Mount Huatong was located. When he saw Fong Ping disguised as CLA, the rank 9 powerhouse guarding this place was slightly surprised. Inspector Xie, Minister Li, and the others have just entered the catacombs for an internal inspection. Could it be that something is about to happen in Nanmen? Fong Ping chuckled. That's not it. It's mainly because Huatongshan is here. The relationship between humans and Huatongshan isn't considered good. Now that the other catacombs are at war, we're also worried that something might happen to Huatongshan. That's why Minister Fong asked me to come and take another look to make sure there's nothing wrong with Huatongshan. Then be careful, Inspector Xie. But Huatong Mountain hasn't been acting strangely recently and has been closing its domain all this time. It shouldn't be that he would go against the humans at this time, right? Just in case. Fong Ping did not say much. He said quickly, "I'll go take a look then. Old Lu, please be more careful here." After a brief conversation with the rank 9 who was in charge, Fong Ping hurried toward the bounded zone. It seemed that the destruction of Luofu Mountain this time was smooth. There were no accidents here either. This was good too. If an accident really happened, even if Old Wang and the rest joined forces, they might not be able to defeat Jueping. Old Wang and the rest could kill Jueping last time because of the existence of Heavenly Emperor Zhan's remnant consciousness. Now that Heavenly Emperor Zhan's remnant consciousness had disappeared, they might not have this chance again. End the battle quickly and destroy Huatangshan. This time, the only target left is the Void Mausoleum Grotto Heaven. They're still fighting there. I hope they can buy me some time. Not only was Fong Ping worried that something might happen there, but he was also worried that something might happen here. It was not like every time before, where he could kill his opponent and still retain a trace of the other party's mentality, so that they could not be destroyed. Even if he could hold back, the other party might not do as he wished. The probability of them self-destructing was not small. If Jueping died, the movement would not be small. Other than those in the Forbidden Sea, those who were on land and nearby could sense such changes. Very soon, Fong Ping arrived near the bounded zone. He sensed Old Man Li and the rest Sora. They did not go near the bounded zone, but patrolled nearby. Even if Huatangshan powerhouses knew about it, they would not be surprised. It was inevitable for humans to guard against the major bounded zone's attack. Including at North Lake, there were also human powerhouses keeping an eye on the area near the Void Mausoleum Grotto Heaven to prevent accidents. In reality, they were only there to report. If Jueping really wanted to attack, they could not stop him. Sensing Old Man Li and the rest, Fong Ping quickly transmitted his voice. "I'm here. You guys leave quickly." The next moment, Old Man Li replied, "Are we leaving now? Do you need help? Why don't we help you guard the outside to prevent people from escaping?" Fong Ping thought for a while and said quickly, "All right, the few of you don't split up. If there's an accident, join forces and fight." If these few people joined forces, even if they encountered Jueping, they could still resist for a while, let alone kill the enemy. Fong Ping was also worried that something might happen here at Huatangshan. Destroying Luofu Mountain was smooth, but it did not mean that other places would be as smooth. Having said that, Fong Ping did not stay any longer and disappeared instantly. As soon as he left, Old Man Li and the rest looked at each other from afar, shocked. Luofu Mountain was destroyed? Otherwise, Fong Ping would not have arrived so quickly. It was very smooth. Moreover, Fong Ping's strength was beyond imagination. Luofu Mountain was guarded by a Jueping. At this moment, the few of them still did not know that Luofu Mountain did not have one Jueping but two. Huatangshan, below the 10 major grotto heavens, the first of the 36 grotto heavens. Compared to Kuokang Mountain, which was the last of the 10 major grotto heavens, Huatangshan's strength was not inferior. Emperor Huatangshan's strength might be slightly stronger than Gong Zhuanzi's. Of course, Gong Zhuanzi's strength back then was in mentality and source world. Martial artists with strong mentality and source world were sturdy and huge. If he was really pulled into the source world by the other party, Emperor Huatangshan might not be Gong Zhuanzi's match. At this moment, Huatangshan was not idle either. Huatangshan knew about the war in the outskirts. This time it was not just a war in one area. Many outskirts were fighting. In the huge main hall of the Sky Palace, the seventh elder who stayed behind at Huatangshan, an old man with white hair and beard, was frowning. Fellow disciples, now that the human world is in turmoil again, Fong Ping initiated a war, the seventh elder sighed. After the sect leader left, I'm the only one keeping watch in the sect. My strength is not even comparable to true Lord Dizhou. If Dizhou is killed, once Fong Ping targets Huatangshan, we'll be in trouble. Below, a young powerhouse said in a low voice, "Seventh Elder, it's better to strike first. Why don't you let me bring Huatong's elite guards to aid the fake dynasty and eliminate the martial artists in the human world? Elder, contact all parties, clarify the pros and cons. Look for opportunities to kill Fong Ping. Then we won't be in such a sorry state." Now, because they were worried that the human world would take revenge, the sect was sealed. However, this was a world of great change. Sealing the mountain gate now would be a big problem. The young man understood that if they did not seize the opportunity to become stronger now, there might not be a chance in the future. Sealing the mountain gate for 1 or 2 days was fine. Did they really have to seal it until the great change came? Master! Below, a young woman said, eldest senior brother is right. If we continue to seal the mountain now, it's no different than waiting for death. The outer sect demons have sent news that the human martial artists are actually monitoring us outside the sect. The woman said angrily, if this goes on, Huatong's lineage can't leave the mountain. Are we going to stay in the mountain gate like this? Wangwu, Weiyu, and a few other grotto heavens have already sent their disciples out to gain experience. The strong will always be strong. We in the 3 grotto heavens of Luofu have many true gods. Now the human world is still fighting with the fake dynasty. The divine sect has also formed a death grudge with them. Now, the divine sect wants to attack, but is afraid of being ambushed by us, so they dare not act rashly. However, if Master contacts all parties and convinces Luofu, Suling, and a few other places to attack together, killing Fangping will be extremely easy. The old man sighed. You're right. However, Netherworld King is still in the dark. If we don't get rid of Netherworld King, who would dare to attack Fangping? The divine sect said they want to deal with Netherworld King, but Taoist Fengyin and Thunder Emperor have not appeared yet. The divine sect is also ambitious. How will they act according to the agreement? No one knows if they're deliberately letting us attack and watching us fight with Netherworld King and Fangping. Speaking of Netherworld King, the woman frowned too. However, she quickly said, Master, I'm thinking, is Netherworld King really still in the human world? The old man was puzzled. The woman's eyes darted around. She muttered, everything is just what Fangping said. From the beginning to the end, we have never seen Netherworld King. We also have news about the battle that day. Under that kind of situation, Netherworld King left alone. Would the other parties not have anyone left to suppress Netherworld King? Everyone knows that the human world is our biggest enemy because the human world is the key to the great changes. The woman continued, if that's the case, why would they let Netherworld King stay and strengthen the human world's forces? Also, the previous list of the human world is full of mistakes. True Lord Earthly Zhou is not on the list. As far as I know, there are also a few mistakes. This means that the list is not reliable. As the woman spoke, she said in a low voice, so, I suspect that everything is a cover. Netherworld King is not in the 2 worlds at all. But when the list was released earlier, that kind of power can't be done unless it's an emperor level. The woman laughed. Master, as long as the arrangements are done properly, and Fangping has the divine peeking mirror, it's not impossible. I've checked some of Fangping and Netherworld King stories. If Netherworld King is really in the human world, I think Fangping will only be more domineering than he is now. You're saying Netherworld King is not in the human world at all? The old man's eyes flickered. If that was the case, everyone was deceived by Fangping. Right now, all parties were reluctant to join forces, unwilling to be the first bird to stand out. 80% of the reason was because of Netherworld King, a hidden emperor-level powerhouse. This was a point that everyone was extremely worried about. But what if Netherworld King was not here? In the huge human world, Fangping was the only one. Fangping, on the other hand, had many divine weapons, divine peeking mirror, god-slaying saber. This was not a good thing. In fact, he was a thorn in all parties' sides. However, everyone was afraid. However, if it was confirmed that Netherworld King had also left thinking of this, the old man muttered, now that those who know about what happened that day have already entered the heavenly cemetery, it's difficult to prove it. However, if the human world is in danger and Netherworld King still does not appear, it means that Netherworld King is really not here. The old man thought for a while and said, I will negotiate with the divine sect and quickly find out whether Netherworld King is here or not. You guys don't have to worry. If Netherworld King is really not here, after we kill Fong Ping, the human world will be everyone's training ground. The old man laughed. I heard that the human world's Taoism is loosening. If everyone goes to the human world to train, perhaps you can break through realms very quickly and achieve the position of a true god. Now, it's not just us who are watching the human world. Beyond Avalon, other grotto heavens, overseas immortal islands, actually see the human world as the best place to train. In the future, the human world will be the important place for everyone to break through realms. Turning the human world into the Azura domain, the important place for everyone to break through realms. This is also something that everyone is willing to do. The human world was very important. At least it was really important now. Powerhouses from all sides wanted to train there. There, powerhouses from all sides would gather, establish a branch of the sect, recruit disciples, let the human world bloom, and turn it into a heavenly realm to break through realms. This was actually someone's plan a long time ago. It was just that it was somewhat unexpected. First it was King Wu, then it was Fong Ping, shattering everyone's beautiful dreams time and time again. Otherwise, according to the plan, the human world now would be the battlefield of the ancient people. Breaking through realms in the catacombs was very difficult. In the human world, perhaps after a few killings, one could achieve Tao. Hearing the old man say this, everyone was also extremely happy. The young man who spoke earlier said arrogantly, "Elder, outside the sect, there are a few human martial artists spying on us. Why don't you let me bring some people to kill them?" Li Chongsheng is known as the first among rank 9, but that was ranked by Fong Ping. I don't believe that Li Chongsheng is stronger than us. Even Ling Xiao is only ranked 2nd, and Ling Xiao was a true god powerhouse back then. The old man laughed. There's no rush. We can't move now. If we move, Huatangshan will become a target in the human world. We will make a move, but we won't be a sandpiper. If we don't move, we will definitely kill him. If Fong Ping doesn't die, killing Li Chongsheng won't have much effect. It will only add to Huatangshan's troubles. The young man was a little disappointed. Beside him, the woman said with a smile, "Eldest senior brother's combat strength is unparalleled. Fong Ping is a junior. How would he know how strong senior brother is? It's funny that Fong Ping only ranked senior brother 15th on the list. He's a short-sighted person." The woman smiled like a flower and continued. Huatangshan's relentless sword was as famous as Ling Xiao that year. When senior brother became famous, Wei Yu, Jiang Kue, and the others were still children. How could they be above senior brother? At this moment, the old man above frowned slightly. "Someone, go and see what's happening at the end of the spirit spring. I think I sense something unusual." "Yes, elder." Very soon, someone went to carry out the order. The old man waited for a moment, his mentality spreading out. He quickly retracted it. He was a little paranoid, but he did feel something unusual just now. At the same time, Fong Ping hid in the void, squeezing the meatball in his hand. "I was almost tricked by you guys. A true god is a true god indeed. You can still cause trouble for me even at this time." Fong Ping transmitted his voice, then laughed. "Luckily, I discovered it quickly. Otherwise, it would be troublesome this time. Say, if I don't kill you now, will you guys have a chance to turn things around? I've watched TV and novels. If the villain doesn't kill the protagonist will escape from death. After that, they will have many miraculous encounters and finally kill the villain, killing the devil. Am I, the devil, nurturing a tiger that will cause trouble?" Fong Ping transmitted his voice with a smile. Yes, he was a devil now. 3rd Elder and 9th Elder were the typical template of the protagonist. The sect was destroyed, leaving behind a wisp of mentality. If they turned things around, killed him, and strengthened the sect, would that not be a good story? The more he thought about it, the more he felt that he deserved to die. It's a pity. I'm a little strong. Both of you, wait for the opportunity with peace of mind. If you rebel now, I'll kill you straight away. You won't have a chance to turn things around. If you want to cause trouble, You have to wait until I'm injured or defeated. That's a good opportunity, isn't it? Fong Ping taught them by example. He laughed. Or wait until I sneak into the other party's side, then you guys cause trouble. That'll be even more dangerous. Now that you've come to cause trouble, you've attracted my attention. Both of you, your IQ is really low. You don't have enough forbearance. Fong Ping sneered and said quickly, not too strong. It seems that Huatangshan is still inferior to Luofu Mountain. There's only one paragon in the sect. I'm confident that I can defeat him head-on. This assassination, he's dead for sure. Both of you, I'll try to let him meet up with you later. You haven't seen an old friend for so many years. I'm afraid that you'll miss him too much. Fong Ping teased them for a while and relaxed. When the paragon withdrew his mentality, he flashed and rushed toward the heavenly palace. After killing this paragon, the others were nothing to worry about. Next, he just had to focus on dealing with the Void Mausoleum Grotto Heaven. As for the evil sects, they might not be able to make it this time. They were lucky. He would settle the score with them after destroying the 3 major territories. Fong Ping felt that the evil sects would not make it this time. He even felt that many of his arrangements were useless. At this moment, true Lord Earth Wisdom was getting closer and closer to the southern 24 regions. Along the way, true Lord Earth Wisdom's speed was extremely fast. He was also excited. Wang Jinyang and the other 2 had entered the southern 24 regions. This time, they might be able to obtain 3 divine weapons. How could true Lord Earth Wisdom not be excited? You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.